It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, here we go, back at it. On a Rando Tuesday, Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, CB behind the glass. Boys, how we feeling?
Feeling amazing. The sun is shining. We're one day closer to football season, and I get to do another show with you. I cannot complain at all, even though I'm a little disappointed because I thought we were both going backwards hats today. When I saw you earlier when we were prepping, you had the lid on backwards. There we go. Get it right. So we can make Colin Cowherd mad today. We can make Colin Cowherd mad.
We don't quarterback NFL teams, so we're allowed.
How
we're
you
exempt.
Feeling? You doing all right?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good,
Everything's all right.
Good.
It's like old home week now with James coming in and stealing money again from us here at the radio station. And I feel like, because we used to have this thing when he'd come in and he'd race out of here, like when he used to do it. And I said to him, because I think he came in early enough. Like, I think he actually may have been here. He did the crossover on Bobby and Beamer, I believe.
Okay.
And so he might have gotten here actually a few minutes before his own show, which is exemplary for most of our hosts. And so I said, well, since you did the morning and then you did Bishop and Friends, why don't you see if you could cross over 3 time zones?
Yeah, come on.
I don't think it's ever been done before. Mm-hmm. Cross over the 3rd time zone. And he says to me, I got to go. Oh. And I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to push him on this. I'm not going to just take the I got to go as some sort of generic thing. I want to know what we're losing. What did we lose the battle to?
Yeah.
I've got to eat and go to the pool.
What a life.
That's what you and I lost. And all I can say to that is, that's all I can say.
Well, I got up from my desk. I heard him leave the studio. But when I turned the corner, he was already in the parking lot.
Yeah, that's right.
I think he was out of the parking lot by 11:59 and was on his way to the pool to get his tan on and eat whatever he's going to eat. Like, the dude doesn't mess around. It was good to see him again. You know, he just kind of takes over the place when he's here,
he
does what he wants,
right.
Drinks whatever he wants, no matter, whose it is. I think we saw him drink a Coke. He didn't even care whose Coke it was.
And a smile.
He's just like, you know what? I'm thirsty. I'm taking this Coke, and if anybody's got a problem, come find me at the Woody.
Pilfer some things out of the fridge and then look at me and say, hey, AR, catch. Like, I felt like I was the little kid in Mean Joe Green and all that.
Amazing commercial, by the way. All-timer.
We got a lot to do today. We'll talk Jackets. By the way, schedule just dropped.
Oh.
Schedule just dropped.
What's the record for us next year, AR?
We're not getting into points and all that. But I will give you some highlights.
Okay.
If you want that.
Sure.
So I'll start with October. I see the Leafs are coming to town. So that's Austin Matthews. That's Marner. That's about 13 Stanley Cups rolling in. None lately. Edmonton on the 28th. McDavid and Leon and the boys. And the Cup finalists from this year. Let's see, late November and December, you get the Los Habitants, the Montreal Canadiens. That's 24 cups, all in the past. Early next year, you got the Wings in town a couple times, of course. And so you got a little rival there in the division. You get in February 6th, Matty, you get the Utah Hockey Club rolling in.
Yeah, not used to that yet.
So that'll be the one visit from the newest team in the NHL. February and March, we'll get the Rangers, so the Breadman will come back. Late February, the Blackhawks, so you get to see Bedard back in the building, another rival.
What could have
Mid-March, Vegas rolls in, so you get the 23 champ, so that's a little bit of the highlight to give you. Yeah,
I like that. That. As you've coined the phrase, a little glance Armstrong.
Took a little glance Armstrong at the schedule. Mm-hmm. I'll maybe do a little deeper dive, but that's not too bad.
Okay. Exciting times. Hey, exciting times here on the show today because we're going to give away again another family 4-pack of tickets to the Good Guys 26th Summit Racing Nationals, July 12th through the 14th at the Ohio Expo Center. So many cool trucks, cars going to be at this event. Passes are going to be good for one of the days. So stick with us if you're into that, and we'll hook you up if you hit the hotline at the right time and get the answer correctly.
Nice. I skipped over. I want to see when my boy Torts is coming back.
Yeah, what's up with the
Flyers. Looks like December 10th on a nice Tuesday evening. We do a little home and home with the Flyers, then late December. That'll be cool.
Okay.
And then I think come back in January. All right, good. I always like to see when the big fella comes back into town. That's always fun. We'll talk with Brian Hedger at 12:33. Mm-hmm. Get a little take on where we stand with the coaching situation, the potential trades, the Line A rumors that are still out there, and everything else. When the Monahan signing, which obviously was big money. They get a big name, big money, big years, and we'll talk to him about that. The Don did talk about that, so we'll hit that in a moment. There is so much drama in Dallas, and it's getting all churned up by a former Buckeye. So that will be fun when we talk about that at 1 o'clock. We do now know where Aaron Rodgers, why he blew off minicamp, so we'll get into that. We got a lot to do today, but we do want to. So the Big Don hit the podium yesterday, and after listening to Monahan on the Zoom call, I started to get talked a little bit back to the middle on. Okay, it's about staying healthy. He's a pro. There's no question he is a pro. But when I heard him say, Matty, like, I'm 29, I'm in the best shape of my life now. There's no doubt there were some struggles in the hip and all that stuff. But I did get, and it didn't sense that he was trying to talk himself into anything.
Okay. I always get a little weary when I hear athletes say that in the off season because we do hear that a lot, from guys is the best shape I've ever been in. But we'll take him at his word. I think he does have to prove, probably not only to himself, but to everybody, right, that he's going to be out there on the ice consistently. But if he is, he's a heck of a player. He really is. And you mentioned him talking yesterday to some of, media members, and he mentioned just his relationship with Johnny and how they've talked a lot and how he, his wife and Johnny's wife are really good friends and all of that. So that's great to hear that you got a guy coming in that's comfortable, but just zooming out from that, you just hope his availability is going to be where you want it to be because, at the early portion of his career, he was a guy that, for 5 straight years had at least 31 assists. So that's, I think, can show itself when he's going to be out there on the ice, especially with the guy that he's comfortable with because he and Johnny, shared the same line, years ago.
Yeah, and listen, he played a lot of games last year, so it's not like he fought back, and so
did he?
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm seeing it on ESPN. They're telling me he played 34 games. So you're telling me that's wrong?
No.
Okay,
he got traded,
so they don't have. So that's the split. There.
I would. Yeah, I would.
That's a split. I see what you're saying now. Yeah, from Winnipeg only, it was 34. Montreal's 49. So he's been out
played 83 games last year.
So a couple. It's just a couple. The season before that was a little dicey, but that's it. So we don't want to make it the biggest deal. It's just for some that's popped up when it comes to his potential availability. But to his credit, last year the dude was out there on the ice.
Yeah, that may be where some people yesterday were kind of seeing that, and they must not have.
Yeah, because on ESPN they stack the same season but in 2 different teams. Like it's not all combined one together.
Well, that's what messed with people, clearly, because half that or less than half of that season. Now, I'd have to go back and find out why he only played 1 game in the playoffs against Colorado, but that would be something for
But that's good news to hear, then. That's good news because now the math is mathing in the right way. Now we're good.
Here is the Big Don on the signing, the big over $27 million over 5 years to Sean Monahan.
Well, we've talked all since I've been here about adding leadership to our group, and along with leadership, add a potential of a top forward, and I think we accomplished both in being able to sign Sean. He's a first-line centerman, a great history, and he also has been he's wrote letters in different places he's been. So I think what we set out to do today, we accomplished.
That's great. Listen, you're checking boxes. I dropped my Moneyball line on you yesterday, and I'm not saying this guy's in his late 30s. He's 29 years old. But it has that feeling of that you're smart. You know what's going on here. You know you got a young team. You know they're in a rebuild, retool. We need you to set an example for the younger guys. Take a leadership role and be that guy. And the question becomes, in Moneyball, it was like, I'm not paying you to be the player you used to be. I'm paying you to be the player now. Well, he is getting paid massive money. So this isn't just bringing a guy in for $27 million so he can be a mentor. No. You got to be a player. You need a top-line center to mentor the younger centers down the middle, and there you go. And then, like you said, The remarriage with Johnny, great. The fact he's got a very young child, and he gets to live in Columbus, Ohio, that's a big selling point for a lot of these guys on where they are in their lives, and that's what happened here. Here's Waddell about Monahan and the Gaudreau pairing.
It's interesting because at 12:02 today, Mike Priest and I both talked to Sean, and he said Columbus has been a destination for his all along. Obviously having Johnny here to be able to play with, but all along he said, this is a benefit for me to have Johnny here, but that's not why I came here. He's got a newborn baby. He's heard so much about Columbus, and he wants to set up his home here, and that's always encouraging to hear. And so I've said since I've been here that this is a great place to live, and you see all the ex-players that have come back here, which shows it, and you got a lot of players that are putting stakes up here. So I think there's a combination, but I think most importantly, he wanted to be in Columbus.
And they felt it'd be good. I mean, we're not just running a city for young families. That's not what we're about. We're running a hockey team. So while if you're happy, we're happy, but we also want it to be on the ice. So revive the pairing with Gaudreau, revive that stuff you talked about, get your bag of money, which he did, and raise your family. Yeah. Check all three boxes, but the one big one they're paying him to do is not be the best family man he can be.
Correct.
They're paying him to be a hockey player.
To skate out there and be a really good hockey player. And you mentioned his role that he can play as a mentor. That's going to be great. Who knows, what that's going to look like. And that will, I'm sure, organically happen. You already have Boone in the building, as the captain here. But as we just heard from the Big Don, he wore a letter before. So, and we hear from players all the time. You don't necessarily need to be the best player to be a leader. Everybody has their different leadership skills, and maybe he can be more an action-based leader, or maybe he can be a verbal kind of based leader. So I'm excited about this signing, especially when you think about what this could do for Johnny, but more importantly, his effect that it could have, on other players. So it's kind of put up or shut up time for this franchise, and he's going to be a big part of that starting here in 2024.
Yep. All right. So we'll root for that and hope it happens. They worked really well together before. That's when probably Monty was a little more of a scoring guy. Now it's kind of reviving that pairing, and we'll see if he can be anywhere close to a 20-goal, 50-point guy, and we'll see if Johnny can get back into the, 70-plus and all that. So there's a lot of changes. We'll see, but health is important. That's why the 5 years had us scratching our heads yesterday. Yeah. Hopefully it can stay the way he's been talking and the way he talked to the media yesterday. All right, we will take a break. We're just getting started. And Will Howard behind a microphone again. And he says enough of the hype. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver, leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
My name is Dr. Ray Tessner. I'm an orthopedic surgeon in Columbus, Ohio. I've been involved with taking care of athletes and aging athletes for over 35 years.
Dr. Ray Tessner knows a thing or two about joint pain, and one thing he's a big believer in right now is regenerative medicine.
The advantage that I see in a regenerative medicine that there's really no downside to it.
Today, you'll find Dr. Tessner at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in this exciting way to deal with joint pain, using natural concentrated healing agents from your own body to go to work on achy joints, restoring and repairing damaged tissue.
It's one of the best management tools that has come around in a long time.
Tired of that pain in your knees, hips, back, and shoulder? Before you go under the knife, get a second opinion from QC Kinetics. You really can get lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
QC Kinetics has become a leader in the regenerative medicine field.
Go to QCkinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. Spectrum delivers with fast and reliable internet. And with Spectrum One, you get even more. Spectrum Internet, so you can work, game, and stream with speeds up to a gig. Plus advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security and one Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line, both free for 12 months. Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and mobile. Get it all together with Spectrum One, starting at just $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Restrictions apply.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
America's favorite car show returns to Ohio for the biggest hot rodding event of the year. It's the Good Guys 26th Summit Racing Nationals, and it's all taking place July 12th through the 14th at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Check out thousands of chrome and candied hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Shop the huge swap meet and vendor midway and see which rides take home the crown of the Good Guys 2024 Classic Instrument Street Rod and PPG Street Machine of the Year. It's all happening July 12th through the 14th at the Ohio Expo Center, and you don't want to miss it. Get complete details at good-guides.com.
Chaps here with a message from Paige and her entire Awaken 180 team. They want to wish all the fan listeners a happy and healthy Independence Day week. Having a party? Find your free recipes at Awaken 180 on all social media channels.
Hi, it's Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Need a perfect gift? Check out the new line of Glock watches and other stunning jewelry at Worthington Jewelers. Make every occasion sparkle with Worthington Jewelers, where exceptional gifts await.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, looking at a lot of sunshine, high 88. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 70. Wednesday, we see the return of afternoon showers and storms with a high of 93. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your Doppler 10 forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
It's Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, Rothman and Ice. Brian Hedger coming up 12:33. We'll get you updated on the Jackets coaching search and rumors that it might get done, sometime late next week. We'll get through the holiday. Interviews will begin. I don't know how fast they'll sign a guy. We talked about McClellan a lot last week, and I think he'd be a very good coach. I think he'd be a very good get, and it's not like, you got all these future Hall of Fame coaches banging on the door right now, but they are in a pretty good spot, at least from not having to rush at this point. All right, so Will Howard was at the Manning Passing Academy?
That's right, baby.
All right, so is this, you guys can bring me up to date on that. Is this something that he felt he needed to do or wanted to do or go perform at this thing? I mean, it is the offseason for Ohio State.
So this is really interesting because usually most years when you go to the Manning Passing Academy, it usually signifies that you are the starting quarterback for the team you're representing. Mm-hmm. And last year, Ohio State did not have a representative go out there because we know it was Devin Brown versus Kyle McCord in that situation. So it is a little interesting that Will Howard was at this event. But really, no one knew about this until about maybe late yesterday, early this morning, because really there's no signs at all of him performing during the actual passing academy. Like you saw Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers, a bunch of high-level named quarterbacks throwing at this competition, at this camp. And Will Howard was nowhere to be found with that outside of this interview.
Yeah, because when we brought up the list of quarterbacks, I think you were out one day, AR, and some, whole bunch of publications put out the list of guys that were going to be there. And CB mentioned some of the heavy hitters. His name was not on that list. So Will, he snuck on in there. Maybe, he just kind of came through the back door and said, you guys are going to see me do my thing out here. I don't know. I've always just heard and read about how great of an opportunity this can be for any quarterback, really, but especially guys that are at the collegiate level because of the eyeballs that are on you, maybe some scouts or just personnel from NFL teams or whatever it may be. It seems like a pretty cool thing. And then you'll have, obviously, Peyton and Eli floating around, and it never hurts to learn anything from those guys. So I think it's a great thing that Will was down there and, trying to continue to fine-tune his game. But, CB brought up, it's a signal that maybe the guy that goes down there is the QB1. I think, we talk about Mike Tomlin's comment a lot about Russ and Justin Fields, how Russ is kind of in pole position. That's the feel that I'm getting from at Ohio State, and that there's a chance that maybe Devin can run him down, if you will. But they're going to get it going here sooner rather than later. So I haven't seen anything either about how he did down there at the Manning Passing Academy. And I don't know if that's a bad or good thing, but he was in the building and he was putting in some work.
I think the interesting thing for me is that Quinn Ewers is there from Texas and Arch Manning.
Well, Arch has to be there, right? He's got to be there. It's the family business.
What is it, like a day camp counselor? Like he's already there?
I'm sure he's been putting in work,
He's got his little team.
I think that is the one key exception, probably.
Yeah, he has to. Yeah. He can't miss that.
I think by the way, real quick, just to jump off for a second.
Yeah.
I think I've had a lot of fun jobs in high school. That was, to me, my favorite.
Which one?
Being a day camp counselor for a summer.
Really?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. You know me. You don't have to shower. You kind of roll out of bed. You throw on the camp T-shirt.
That's
you
what
go
you
out
lead
there.
with. You lead with you don't have to shower.
Remember, you're in high school, or was I even in college? Was it a summer from college? I honestly don't remember now. It may have been. You know what? It may have been either. Boy, I can't remember now. That's horrible. But it was right in that time span. Probably somewhere between 18 and 20 or something like that, age-wise. Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
And your job was to look after some little ones?
Well, you get your own team. You get your own
that's
campers.
Too much work for me. I don't want to do that. Kids are...
No, you take them to the pool, then it's lunchtime, you take them to other things.
They're too energetic for me. Yeah, they're way too energetic.
They're all corralled. You're all in a big plot of land. There's nowhere for them to go.
Nice little check back in the day?
I don't think it was anything about the check. I think I just didn't want to be working inside somewhere, like in a job in the summer.
I want to be in the AC.
I wanted to be outside.
I want to be in the AC during the summer.
Well, I don't know what kind of real options I had. Either working at a sporting goods store inside, which didn't seem that fun.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds kind of boring. Or being a day camp counselor.
Okay, I'm not mad at it. It's just not for your boy.
Maybe Arch was that guy. Maybe just corralling the players, and this is where you go. And
I was slinging carts at at Kroger and hanging up clothes at TJ Maxx back in the day. I couldn't wait to quit TJ Maxx.
Really?
The worst part of it was that
people.
Well, yeah, because I worked
drop things on the ground.
The guys section. Yeah. And guys, we just don't care. We're just throwing stuff around. So when you got to re-rack everything at about 11 o'clock at night, that's what I was just like. I don't even think I put in my 2 weeks.
You got those great discounts, though, Matty, that you love so much.
It was Nike Tuesdays in the back, so I knew they had the Nike drop-off in the back. Oh, man, I was picking off everything before it went out on the floor.
So there you go. There was a positive.
No doubt about it.
Silver lining. Here's Will Howard. It's HTV 10 in Louisiana, talking about the step up in the pressure from K-State to O-State.
The expectations are higher, but I knew what I was signing up for. And, I knew that, the ultimate goal for me was the NFL and being a starter in the NFL. And, I knew if I didn't put myself in uncomfortable positions and push myself and put these expectations on myself, then I wasn't going to grow. And, following in the footsteps of guys like CJ and Justin and Dwayne and JT, the succession of quarterbacks there is special, and I hope I can carry it on in a good way.
It was funny. He stops at JT, for a guy his age, Troy is probably so far in the rearview mirror for him. I'm sure he obviously knows who he is, but I just think it's funny when guys at this age start listing the quarterbacks that they probably watched growing up. Like you stop at.
He was probably 3-4 years old.
That's what I'm saying, right? Yeah. So it's probably not even a factor as far as whether or not he saw him, but I'm sure he's well aware now rolling around the Woody every day. The level up for him is going to be big time. And that's a great thing when you're a guy like Will Howard, because the shine that Ohio State can put on you as a prospect is huge, because usually it takes like 1 year for some of these guys. We've seen guys come in and maybe don't get a whole bunch of playing time in your early portion of your career. You pop off for 1 year and the NFL is going to find you very attractive, and he's definitely going to have the chance to do that with the weaponry around him this year.
So I used to say this in the 90s when I was covering Ohio State. I looked at Eddie. I'm sorry. The kids that were at Ohio State looked at Eddie the way I looked at Archie.
Mm-hmm.
That's how, like, it was just like more of a folklorish thing.
For sure.
And I think that's what it is for him, is that Troy probably was almost like this folklorish Buckeye that did it. It happened. I know it did. Here he is on the whole, it's all or nothing. The chips are in the middle. Number 4, CB.
For us, it's Natty or bust. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, we have all the talent. We have all of the, all of the intangibles, I guess, but now we just got to go do it. I'm tired of hearing how talented we are and how good our team is. It's about the work ethic and about, how we go to work every single day. And I think we're doing the things that we need to put ourselves in that position to be there at the end of the year. And now we just got to go do it.
Almost got into a little Herb Brooks there. I'm sick and tired of hearing, I feel like he's the one that's out there. That's what a leader sounds like. Embracing the pressure, leaning into it, enough talk. I get it. It's real. Natty or bust. It's not usually what you'd want to say based on, hey, the normal thing is week at a time, long season. If we're privileged enough to play for it, I hope we bring our best. Our goals haven't changed, but rarely would you hear a guy say Natty or bust, because what that puts on it is Natty or underachieve.
Mm-hmm. It's very rare, to your point, that you hear athletes at any level say those words that he said. Sometimes you can talk your way around it. Hey, we know we got good talent, but to your point, the day in and day out grind.
A lot of things have to happen.
Respect the grind and all those cliche things we hear. So let's make sure we keep that clip, because it's now out there on the record that one of the leaders of this year's team has thrown it out there that it's Natty or bust, and I'm here for it. I love that they're not running away from it, because they know how good they are, but they also know we got to get in the lab and put in the work too.
All right, we'll come back, a little CBJ talk with Brian Hedger, the beat writer for the Dispatch, and we'll find out exactly how this Monahan signing is registering over there, and what else the Jackets, what other moves they might make. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event. So give your friends something to look at and make this a summer to share and save with a capable Kia SUV like the Sorento, Sportage, Seltos, or Telluride, or a powerful sedan like the fun-to-drive Forte, each backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. And for a limited time, get 1.9% APR for 48 months for well-qualified buyers and $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged 2024 Sportage and Sorento models. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Financing for 24 to 48 months from Kia Finance, subject to credit approval for purchase of a new 2024 Sportage or Sorento. Excludes hybrids and PHEVs. $21.65 per month per $1,000 financed at 48 months. $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged models must be applied as down payment. Must take delivery by 7/8/24. Limited inventory. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See retailer for details.
Bobby Carpenter here for Affinity Whole Health, the leader in the testosterone and hormone replacement therapy game. And weight loss too, that's right. Affinity offers semaglutide injections for weight loss in addition to their testosterone treatments, so you can lose weight and build muscle. They customize a plan directly for you. They added peptides to my TRT. They've added semaglutide with my friend's testosterone, and the results are amazing. They're pumped about summertime and pool season, so check them out at feelgreatcolumbus.com. That's feelgreatcolumbus.com.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Bishop and Friends.
Is there any actual empirical evidence that bulking up and being heavier makes you more durable? I pretty much broke my foot when I was fat, so
Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The perfect ratio of sports talk, dogs, pro wrestling, and gambling advice.
It's science.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
You know, on the surface, it was a splash. Because yesterday's show was kind of fun. Because I was poking around potentially them getting Sean Monahan, and then boom, it happens. And then I was trying to predict, what I'd be comfortable with. 3 years sounds good. Then it comes out to be 5 years, and it's a lot of money. It's almost $28 million for a 30-year-old guy who's been in the league a long time. He's fought back from injuries, commendable. He's a talent. He knows Johnny. They played together. He's a vet. It checks a lot of boxes, and then you come back to, the motivation of it and how much they needed this guy on this team right now. And Brian Hedger covers the Jackets, does a really good job for the Dispatch as a beat man. And he's with us now on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fangast Hotline. Hedge, welcome back, my friend.
Hey, good to be back.
Did they overpay, and did they have to overpay? Is this the price of doing business? Where do you stand and the people you talk to on the 5 times $5.5 million for Sean Monahan?
Well, I guess on the surface you could look at it and say they overpaid a little bit. I don't think it was a massive, huge overpay. But, as we go along here, we're in a year where, the salary cap just went up from almost $4 million or in that range. It's going to be $88 million next year. So, when you look down the course of how this contract's going to play out, right, it's 5 years. So each year out, as long as we don't have another COVID or something else like that wrecks the projected revenue of the league, you got to figure that cap number is probably going to keep increasing, and the more it keeps increasing, the less of a percentage that that $5 million per year against the cap that Monahan costs will have. So I think it's a fair contract for what he's done and for what the Blue Jackets are trying to get. They are trying to reunite Johnny Gaudreau, put somebody with him who has had success with him in the past. They got to get Gaudreau going, right? He's got 5 years left on his deal, and his numbers have just not. kind of nosedived, obviously, in the 2 years since he signed here. So, I think there's still obviously a lot. I don't think it's just he forgot how to play hockey. I think they just kind of have to help him out a little bit. And, adding Monahan definitely, deepens this team down the middle and gives Gaudreau somebody that he's got chemistry with.
Yeah, going to be exciting to see how it unfolds, Hedge. Let's zoom out from him and talk a little bit about Caden Lindstrom. There seems to be a nice level of excitement around what he can potentially be. What do you know about him as a prospect, and what do you think the timeline is going to look like as far as when he can be impactful here in Columbus?
Well, I honestly feel like with him it's going to come down to his health, right? I mean, he had a back injury that kept him out for most of last season, and you got to think that if the Blue Jackets felt comfortable enough to select him 4th overall, that they are comfortable enough with his medical history that he's going to fully bounce back from the issue. Now, Caden Lindstrom, he's been asked, multiple times, and says that the injury itself is fully healed. He is back to skating, I think, 4 or 5 times a week. He's out here skating today, development camp. So we're going to just have to see how that whole thing unfolds. But if he does, return to full health as far as, next season goes, and he stays healthy and he can, have a full year. I mean, I think the sky's the limit for this guy. I really do. I didn't realize I was out in Vegas, and I did not realize how massive this kid is until I saw him in person. And it's like, whoa, that's a big dude. I mean, he is a really big guy. He can really skate. And when he hits people, you're going to know it. And he also has great shot, and he can dangle it around a little bit and pass. So for me, I think the comp for me on him is kind of like what we heard from of Quentin Byfield, who is with the Los Angeles Kings. He's not quite as tall as Byfield. Byfield's about 6'5", pushing 6'6". So that's a really, really big guy. But, Caden's 6'3", pushing 6'4". So that's not small by any means, and he's really muscular and built. And the thing is, this kid's driven. He's a driven guy. He's from a small, tiny town in Canada. He's had an interesting, unique route to the NHL draft. And I think that he does not lack for motivation. So it's going to be fun to watch him develop.
All right, he's got to find a coach here. He feels he has the time now because he's not competing against anybody. We've heard names being tossed around. Where's your money at right now?
Well, if I had to put money on it, and I am not a betting man, I will throw that out there officially. Not all the time anyway, but if I had to, I think I'm putting my money on Todd McClellan at this point. For me, he just makes the most sense in terms of fitting with what new Blue Jackets president of hockey operations / GM Don Waddell has said that he's looking for. He's looking for somebody who's got a lot of experience in that head coaching position. And there are a number. Jeff Blashill comes to mind. He had a number of years in Detroit as the head coach. He was a Mike Babcock guy. He got brought in there as an assistant under Babcock. But he is now the top assistant for the Tampa Bay Lightning. But that's one stop of a head coaching career, right? And you look at maybe a Jay Woodcroft, who coached the Edmonton Oilers until this past season, was replaced mid-season. He's got a lot of experience in the NHL as an assistant coach, but he only had a couple of years in Edmonton as a head coach. I look at McClellan. I mean, he has coached 3 separate NHL teams as a head coach. He's had success, varying amounts of success at all 3 stops. He's a really sharp guy, and he's in his mid-50s, so he's not old by any means. I think that he would be a perfect fit. It's probably gonna. I don't know what they're thinking, but for me, if I'm making the call, I'm going with McClellan, I think, if he's interested.
So Lindstrom is the headline of the draft, but I want to just pick your brain on maybe another prospect or two that they did draft outside of Caden Lindstrom that you find intriguing.
I find the goalie that they picked, that they traded up to get, actually, at pick number 60 overall. It was late in the second round, and they combined a couple of picks to move up back into the second round and pick Evan Gardner. I believe he was the goalie for the Saskatoon Blades. What a great name. Saskatoon is fun to say. But he's not the biggest guy, right? Like, a lot of goalies, today you see them and they're at least 6'3", and they're long and spindly and, athletic and everything. I mean, this guy's he's an extremely good athlete. He tracks pucks well. He moves side to side, all that stuff. Had a good defense in front of him, but I mean, if you look at his numbers, a lot of times you look at numbers from guys in the juniors, goalies, and I mean, because there's not maybe the greatest defense out there a lot of times, the numbers can get really inflated on goalies, but this guy was completely the opposite. He played a lot. I think he went 21-5-0, and he had a 191 goals against average with I think the save percentage was around 930 or something. So, they're very good prospect there. I'm excited about him. And then the other four guys that they got, huge. I mean, they're all so big, and the thing that was good to hear about that is that they're big defensemen, but every one of them can skate, and that was important. Like, you got to be able to be mobile. I've seen a lot of big defensemen in my writing career covering hockey, and a lot of them, sometimes it's hard with those long legs to kind of get them going and move side to side and do all the things you need to do to defend. But hearing that these guys are not only big but really good skaters, that was encouraging.
Well done, my man. Should be a lot of fun to cover and watch here as they nail down the coach. And it's funny because Jay worked for Todd for many years. So the two guys you just talked about. So we'll see what happens there. Thanks, Hedge. Always good to have you on.
All right. Anytime.
Brian Hedger, Columbus Dispatch, on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Charlie Ehrlich, who they took at number 36. He's the defenseman. Who can jump into the offense. He's got a nasty streak, too. 6'3", 200, tall, rangy kid. And his dad played for the Badgers, good skater, like Hedge said. And so Big Don likes that. And then the other D-man they took at 86, Luca Morelli, 6'2". He's a guy that'll be highly motivated. So
Big Don looking for some physicality out there on the ice. I'm here for it.
Keep the puck out of the net, skate. Be a hockey player. We come back, and the Cavs keep a big one. We'll give you the details next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The Fan is live and local with Morning Juice, Caffeinate, and Dominate.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Find savings to celebrate this 4th of July with one stop at Meijer. Pick up fresh from Meijer 80% lean ground beef family pack for just $2.99 per pound. And family pack chicken drumsticks for 99 cents per pound. Bulk sweet corn is 5 for $1 this week. Meijer potato chips are 3 for $6. And Aunt Millie's stadium buns are $1.99. Plus, get even more great deals with buy 5, save $5. Get everything you need for July 4th this week at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in store or in the Meijer app.
Atlas Butler is built to keep you comfortable, and our plumbing services are no exception. You can rely on Atlas Butler for trusted, convenient plumbing and drain service. Our expert plumbers and drain specialists can take care of anything, from a broken water heater to a clogged drain. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Raising Cane's Iced Tea is the official iced tea of me, Iced Tea. Now, I heard some people order their box combos with water. Listen, water is for fishes and snitches, Jack. Chill out with Cane's Iced Tea this summer. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Chaps here with a message from Paige and her entire Awaken 180 team. They want to wish all the fan listeners a happy and a healthy Independence Day week. Having a party? Find your free recipes at Awaken 180 on all social media channels.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Wealth Advisors. Get a complimentary second opinion to see if your portfolio is properly designed to achieve your goals before it's too late. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Is foot pain keeping you from living life to its fullest? Life is too short to be dealing with foot, knee, or back pain. Come into the Good Feet store and learn how the Good Feet Heart Support System can help you get pain-free. Call 880-9255 or go to goodfeet.com to make an appointment.
The Fan is your home for the Dallas Cowboys.
No, we're not. You can't say that. Take two.
The Fan is your home of the Buckeyes. Yes, that's right. Same thing, but more playoff success. Now give Big Voice Guy another brandy. Thank you. The Fan.
Mark your calendars for Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend, July 26th and 27th. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Seller. Wedding Weekend is back with unbeatable offers you won't want to miss. Join us for buy one, get one half off wedding bands, 20% off diamond anniversary bands, and special offers on diamond engagement rings. We've had the guaranteed best price and an unmatched selection for over 77 years. Choose a jeweler you can trust and come see us July 26th and 27th at Diamond Seller on Sawmill Road.
You can use your phone at a doctor's office. You can use your phone at a football game. You can even use your phone at an amusement park. But one place you should never use your phone is behind the wheel. Fines now start at $150. So remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BICEP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BICEP to 321-321. That's BICEP to 321-321.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Always as tender as a well-done steak. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, big extension that we were optimistic was going to happen, and now it did. And that's Donovan Mitchell staying with the Cavs 3 years, $150 million. And if you're a big Cleveland sports fan, you start thinking about the three biggest players in Cleveland right now: Donovan Mitchell, Jose Ramirez, Myles Garrett. Like,
that's the big three.
These guys are all in Cleveland. And it's, nobody ever said it was a bad sports town. It's a phenomenal sports town.
Mm-hmm.
From a young athlete standpoint, you never know, right? You never know what money, family, social, weather, geography, like we never know. We'll never know. But that's very nice to see, and I've kind of seen the Cleveland fan kind of celebrating that, as you should.
Absolutely.
So,
heck, even Miles bought a piece of the Cavs, didn't he? He's like part owner of the Cavs. He's all in on Cleveland. This is a big day for a Cavs fan because the story of Donovan Mitchell wanting to go to New York was hovering over this team and this fan base for the last couple of years. And now,
tough to beat home, right?
That absolutely
sometimes
is, right? And sometimes home provides even more pressure. It can go both ways depending on where that franchise is. But I think timing is everything, right? And I think if you're a Cavs fan, you're fortunate that over in New York, they found their star player in Jalen Brunson. So there's not necessarily a need for Donovan Mitchell after what they've done. But the fact that he's going to be in the mix is absolutely awesome, because you look around over the last couple of weeks around the NBA, specifically the Eastern Conference, and I'm sure some Cavs fans were thinking, what the heck are we doing? I mean, we're watching Mikal Bridges go to the Knicks, watching Paul George go to Philadelphia, You even got, the Boston Celtics are still intact. And Jason Tatum, by the way, 5 years for $300 billion yesterday. That in your mid-20s.
I thought the Celtics were for sale.
They are, but they ain't done paying their players. But even a guy like
whoever buys the Celtics will have that bill to pay.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane the money these guys can make by the time they're 35 in the NBA, if you're one of the elites. But even a team like Orlando, who you went 7 games with this past season in the postseason, adds a guy like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who left Denver as a champion. So it was kind of getting spooky, at least for me, as far as what the Cavs are going to do. But now here we are, and Donovan Mitchell's in the mix for the next 3 years at minimum, and he's going to get paid $150 million to do so. Brian Windhorst joined ESPN up in Cleveland, and here he is talking about some of the inner workings of this new deal.
No, so Brian Windhorst was talking about guys like Darius Garland and Jarrett.
Is this Woj?
Woj.
Okay, so Woj, here's another NBA insight. Here's Woj talking about the inner workings of the deal.
Massive news for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell, their 5-time All-Star guard, has agreed to a 3-year, $150.3 million contract extension. That includes a player option in 2027 that would allow a pathway for Mitchell to do another extension then with 10 years of NBA service that would make him eligible for a 5-year, $380 million plus extension. So now the Cavs, they have Donovan Mitchell under contract beyond this next season. And listen, a big part of this is the relationship Mitchell has built with this organization, with Kobe Altman, and really laid out together a vision, a partnership for how they imagine this going for the future. And Donovan Mitchell committing now to this 3-year, $150.3 million extension. He's under contract now, guaranteed 4 years, $185 million. But, this is a Cleveland team that got to the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Kenny Atkinson is their new coach. But Donovan Mitchell commits here to a fairly long-term deal with this Cavaliers organization. And again, he can opt out of this deal in 27, and then he's eligible for a Jason Tatum-like deal that could potentially be worth, with the new monies coming in the league, maybe nearly $400 million.
I still don't know how this money is there. I understand from a TV revenue standpoint, advertising, the thirst for it. I never understood I don't understand in baseball. I don't get it.
It's insane.
I don't understand where it's all coming from. Are there that many people interested that the money's that big? Obviously it is. Yeah. But let's get back to Donovan, because I think when you and I watch this team, we realize what a difference maker he is. Mm-hmm. When he's on the court, when he's getting to the rack, when he's giving a chance for other guys to get easy bat. Things are just easier when he's out there. Their transition, they're better. And we saw it because when he wasn't out there, it would nothing was coming easy for them on the offensive end.
Absolutely, right? And even a guy like Jared Allen, his presence was missed too in the postseason. I know he's been a big talking point. And CB, let's go ahead and play this. Now, this is Wendy on ESPN Cleveland talking about the potential, interest in the big fella.
There are definitely teams who are interested in Jarrett Allen. They could definitely trade him for value. But from what I understand, Kenny Atkinson does not want to trade Jarrett Allen. He obviously has known him since he was a rookie with the Nets. And Kenny Atkinson believes that this can work. He said it yesterday in his press conference, So as of right now, I would, again, go back to what Kobe Altman has said on the record. I don't think they're trading him. Now we can debate about whether that's a good strategy. And we can debate about whether we may revisit that in January, but I think their intention is to hold them.
So that's the second time, or the second report this offseason that we've heard about Jarrett Allen, that Donovan Mitchell really likes him, and now the new head coach really likes him. So it seems to me that he's not going anywhere. This is a massive bet on the new head coach to fine-tune, but more importantly, level up the same guys we've watched play over the last 2 years and get them to higher heights. That's a tall task in the Eastern Conference. I get it, but there's not a lot of newness right now with this roster. So what can Kenny Atkinson cook up to make these guys an even better basketball team is going to be fun to watch?
There's no denying he makes them a much better defensive team. But this NBA, and you watch a lot of it, and so do I, we just saw this team that guns and guns and guns. And I'm not saying you don't need defense, and they're certainly ranked pretty high defensively. But you just kind of wonder whether that front court, if you're not getting anything offensively from them, then what happens? So I agree with you. That's a big deal because that's exactly why he would be traded, is that they don't put a lot of stock in a front court that can't score.
And it seems like the head coach is banging the table for him behind the scenes. So that, like Wendy said, maybe come trade deadline time, there's a different conversation out there. But for now, it feels like the big four, if you will, are going to start the season with Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, and Jared Allen.
All right, we come back. SportsCenter update here, top of the hour, and more drama in Big D. It's a war of words, and it cuts pretty deep, and a former Buckeye is in it. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Pella has forever been known for the best of windows, Wilson, but our doors just as game-changing.
Yep, same with us.
We've got traditional and modern options, but also some really innovative stuff, like big, bold colors or tuck-away sliding doors.
But do you have the give it a little kick to open it door?
Does that mean what I think it means?
Yeah, you got to give it a good little kick to open it.
Get the windows and doors that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted. PellaColumbus.com.
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things that you love? Bone-on-bone pain in your knee, arthritic pain like I was having in my knee, maybe your hip, your back, your shoulder. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that you can get lasting relief from. QC Kinetics is helping patients like you every day here in Columbus, led by Dr. Ray Tesner. I'm talking about cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. Listen, my dad was having knee pain. I was having knee pain. So we went over to QC Kinetics, and they were able to help us out. And 2 years out, I'm still feeling good. My dad can still move around. So learn how QC Kinetics can treat pain and enhance your joints and restore your mobility and give you long-term lasting relief with no downtime. So check them out. Go to 380-208-4544 or head to one of their offices in Dublin, Gehanna, or now the new one that's most recently opened in Grove City.
This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone Flooring, a unique blend of natural stone and their specially formulated epoxy expertly installed over existing concrete. Nature Stone is the only flooring solution for garages, basements, and indoor spaces. Family owned and operated since 1989, no other company or product can match the features, benefits, and unconditional warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor. Visit naturestone.com today and schedule your cost estimate. Act now and save up to 50% off any Nature Stone floor. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
This summer, click into easier yard cleanup with same-day delivery from the Home Depot. Click into clearing overgrown grass or weeds with effortless gas-like power. And click into the convenience of a battery platform compatible with over 250 tools with the Milwaukee M18 fuel trimmer, now for just $199. Click into power with 4th of July savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Order select and stock items by 4 p.m. subject to availability.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Timmy Hall. Good afternoon. It was a booming Monday at Ohio State for both football and basketball. The football team's #1 ranked 2025 recruiting class gets a commitment from Maxwell Roy, 6'3", 270-pound, 4-star defensive tackle from St. Joe's Prep in Philly. Little pipeline being created there indeed. And in basketball, Jake Diebler got a boom from 4-star Richmond Heights Cleveland guard Dorian Jones. He's a 6'3", 190-pound 2-guard, is a top 70 national player. He's their first commit in the 25 recruiting class. Big news with the Cavs. They are agreeing with Donovan Mitchell, the Spider, on a max extension, 3 years worth over $150 million. Baseball, the Guardians start a home set against the White Sox at 6:40. Carlos Carrasco on the hill. Reds start up a series in New York against the Bombers. 7:05 the first pitch. Graham Ashcraft pitching. This one's sponsored by Nature Stone. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
True to his name, Matty Ice wears a winter coat in the middle of summer. He lives the gimmick, man. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
It's great when we had Frank Caliendo in studio, and I was wearing my very rare, can't find it anywhere anymore, C-Bus hat, and I dropped a casual welcome back to C-Bus, and he instantly launches into his Jim Rome. C-Bus, epic. And then he turns to Matt, he goes, the Iceman cooling off.
That's what I do, baby.
It was pretty.
That's what I do.
CB, we need to find that part that I can just put in the array. The Iceman cooling off.
Hey, just kind of like a house cleaning thing while we're here. If you ever miss anything, from the show, wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Our faces will pop up, and when you see those faces, make sure you subscribe to the old pod. No, don't. Some people may want to, but when you see our faces wherever you get your podcast, subscribe to the podcast as well, and
that'd be cool.
Every show will pop up when CB cooks it up when we get out of here.
Yeah, listen. You don't have time to listen between noon and 3. Fire it up. In the evening time.
Yeah, I got a couple homies that do that.
We'll put you to bed. We'll tell you a little bedtime story. Maybe that's what we should incorporate into the show.
I was not a bedtime story kid. My parents, we didn't do that. Just take your butt to bed. We'll see you in the morning.
Wow. Throw the covers, light goes off.
Shut up. Go to bed.
That. Yeah, when we split time, my brother and I with my mom and dad. So when we're down in the city with my dad, when we were very young, I think we'd ask him to kind of tell us some wild story or something.
Oh,
I don't know what, like going
Scary
into the wilderness.
No,
not really. Yeah, something that had some intrigue, but nothing that would give us nightmares or anything.
Great way to go to bed. Yeah. Tell me something creepy, Dad.
That's right.
Before
tell
I go
us
to bed.
Those stories.
By the way, I had a dream last night. I was in a quiet place, like the movie. I don't know why I do this to myself. But, if you haven't seen the movie A Quiet Place, you got these alien figures that take over, and you can't make any noise no matter where you're at. If you step on, a cashew, they're going to find you, Like anything that you do that makes noise, that's the end of your life.
Wild.
And that was my dream last night. And I vividly remember running down this street and hopping into a car, and there was some guy that was like, get in. And we were just driving around and just wrecking stuff because this alien was chasing me around because apparently I did something stupid.
Yeah, my dad's were more like, an escaped lunatic. Some guys escaped, a dangerous
like a
lunatic
serial
from the
killer?
hospital for the criminally insane, in Two Pines.
Wait, what? I'd be like, Pops.
They described him as a monster, 6.5 feet tall, 210 pounds.
Oh, okay.
One horrible distinguishing feature, a sharpened stainless steel hook where his right hand used to be. Now, some say he's still out here in the woods, waiting to find another victim. And I say they're right. That's what my dad used to do.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Papa Rothman. Putting it on you guys before bed. Dang.
Yeah, the strangest part, after all these years, after the biggest manhunt in Two Pines history, they never found the killer, my dad said.
What is that? Is that based from a movie or where
It's definitely a movie.
Okay, where was Pops getting that from?
Meatballs.
Meatballs.
That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Were you a scatter to your parents' room during a thunderstorm?
Not necessarily the thunderstorm. I was probably, as a very little kid, if I had a nightmare, I was into the parents' room.
My parents had to be super annoyed because I was
doors locked.
I was sprinting down the hallway. If there was any lightning, forget about it. I was like nudging them over, like I'm in here for the night.
Especially when it's thunderstorming. For adults, that's kind of a nice, soothing time when it rains like that. You never know what's going to happen.
I do like that too. Sometimes I'll fire up. There's like an app you can just get like a rainfall sound effect going. That's very pleasant before you go to bed.
Yeah, because there's nothing better than springing into your parents' room as a kid, not knowing
You never know what you'll see.
What's going on in
Kids,
there.
Uncle Anthony and Uncle Matty are not advising that. Take a look around the corner before you go.
Why is the door locked? I just had a nightmare.
Oh, man.
All right, so the nightmare in Dallas right now is beautiful because it's an off-season situation, and it involves normal stuff, which is guys wanting to get paid and contracts and all that. So Malik Hooker, who played here at Ohio State, 8-10 years ago, and redshirted here, then he played a lot of games. And
was a monster.
Yeah, and then decided to blow off the last 2 years and go into the draft.
After the year he had?
Yeah.
You didn't need to do anything else.
But he had surgeries, right? The torn labrum and the hip and the sports hernia. He had some injuries, right? I mean, he couldn't even go to the combine, which was crazy after he decided to leave early.
Dude was
But he was a champ here. He was a unanimous All-American, right? First team All-Big Ten, that guy. And now he's with Dallas. And he hasn't been there that long. So he was with the Colts when he went to the league after he was a first-round pick, top 15. And then and now he's with Dallas. And he was on a podcast. CB, which podcast was this again?
I got you. It's the All Facts, No Breaks podcast with Keyshawn Johnson.
Now, rarely would you ever hear a player talk about the other players on the team and what they're making or contractual stuff. And he even went down the road of ranking.
Oh, no.
And I know you haven't heard it, and I didn't want you to hear it before. I have. Of ranking, like the order of who should get paid and why one is at the back of the line.
Oh, no.
And all, like,
oh, no.
It's unreal. And here it is.
Who should they pay first, man? Who should they pay? You got 3-4 dudes out there. You got Zach Martin. You got CeeDee Lamb. You got Micah Parsons. You got Dak Prescott. Who should they address, like, right before training camp? All of them should get their money, but who should go first?
Well, I'm gonna just go ahead and say this now. Micah should be. Micah, he shouldn't be yet. I wouldn't put Micah yet. I feel like we still got a lot to prove. Micah still has a lot to prove. Like he's done a great job his first couple years in the league. Don't get me wrong. He's a fantastic player, but I feel like Micah still has a surface that he don't even know that he can scratch as far as what he's doing. So I would say Micah. I would say Micah's last. I'll go CD1. You can interchange Zach and Dak at two for other reasons. You can interchange both of them, I feel like. And then, like I said,
so you'd rather pay an offensive lineman than the quarterback?
Yeah, I feel like because of the simple fact of when Zach Martin ain't out there, you see how it is for him. Like it's rough because not only just for his performance, that confidence for guys around him. Zach Martin gives a lot of those offensive guys confidence to go out there and be able to perform how they do. Little do a lot of people know, like, yeah, they're great, but when Zach Martin's out there, it's a different type of confidence. Like, I know he's going to do a job. I know he's going to do everything to a T to make sure that he's protecting Dak.
Wow. By the way, he went on. I don't know if there was another one, CB, but there's another one where he talked about Micah prepping and working and handling his business and not being podcasting and all that. And then Micah went back at him.
As he should. And I would have a problem if I
do that on my off day. And if you really want to start talking about prep and work and this and that, we can get into it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm a locker mate of yours. Why wouldn't you just tell me? Like it's the big fear that I've always told you now. Because back in the day, the broadcasting business was its industry, and that was it. Now it's everybody that wants to do it can do it. There's no industry anymore. Yes, you and I are in the industry, but you get the equipment, you get a microphone, you go on somebody's show. Like, it's everywhere now.
It's and the new casual media that Draymond Green was talking about.
The casual nature of it, believe me, the honesty is fine. He was honest. But it made me feel like there's a deeper thing going on here. That Malik Hooker believes that Micah Parsons, while extremely talented, and this happens in every workforce in America where some of them have to work harder than others, some don't, some get special treatment, the whole deal. It made me feel like on their own team that Malik Hooker feels that Micah Parsons is kind of a special guy, and he's not tapping into his ceiling because he's not prioritizing it. That's just my take on it, and a little bit of it leaked out there.
So one of the biggest things that we've heard from athletes for years now is I'm staying away from another man's pockets, let alone addressing when another guy should get paid. I'm here for some of the stuff he said. I'm just not here for it being on the record.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm Micah Parsons, just hit me up. Hit me up or talk to me in the locker room and tell me how you feel face to face. Don't make this public because, I'm always against creating our own storm. And I think now you got this situation that could hover over a locker room and potentially divide maybe a couple guys that you need as high-end players. And look, got to give credit to Malik. He's turned his career around. But I think this may be something when you look back a couple years from now, you might regret a little bit. Like, you never want to be stacking up publicly how you think your front office needs to throw out money to guys. And so this isn't the first time something has popped up like this when it comes to the Cowboys and a couple teammates getting after each other. And the example I'm about to give involves, again, Micah Parsons, because DeMarcus Lawrence, he was on First Take after they got embarrassed by the Green Bay Packers, and he came out and said that he thought the team was burnt out. And Micah Parsons hopped on his podcast and said, no, that's not the case. Like, we don't need to be saying those things publicly. So it just seems like within their locker room, you have guys that are just on different agendas. The quote from Micah Parsons when he addressed DeMarcus Lawrence was, you should never go into a game like I'm tired. I'm ready to go home, because that's exactly what's going to happen, and it did happen. So you got this young guy clapping back at a veteran guy, DeMarcus Lawrence, who's been there for years. And now here we are now a few months removed from that situation, and another guy on defense is addressing some of the pros and cons when it comes to Micah Parsons' game, but also talking about the finances of other guys and what Jerry and Stephen Jones should do. I like Malik a lot, but I just think this was a party foul on his part.
So it's drama, and it's pointless, to your point, when you're on a team like this. Let me give you what I thought even hurt more. He said, my advice for Mike would be just to make sure we're all right and being where your feet are, because if we're at work and the run game's terrible, but you're doing a podcast every week and the run game is terrible, then what are you really caring about? Are you caring about the crowd that was watching the podcast, or are you caring about the success of our team and the Super Bowl that we're trying to reach?
Here's where I'm at with today's athlete. Just because you take an hour out of your day to do a podcast doesn't mean you're working. Or on the flip side of that, just because you're not posting it on social media all over the place doesn't mean you're not working either. So I don't care about Micah Parsons doing a podcast every once in a while, every week, or whenever he does it.
He says it's on his off day.
So, and that's fine, right? I don't even care if he did it after practice. Like, there's time these guys have to zoom out from the grind, and I'm here for it. And I'm thankful for what we do, that these guys are willing to talk on the record about some of these things. But when it comes to just talking about your own guys, like, we just always hear how sacred the locker room is and keeping certain things within those four walls. And if I'm Mike McCarthy, Jerry, and Stephen Jones, like, I'm kind of pulling my hair out today when I hear these things from Malik Hooker talking about this stuff, because it could create an issue within your own building.
Feels like there's a little honesty there to a fault.
Yeah.
It feels like there is something he doesn't respect as far as Micah is concerned, and he let it out there. There was something there. He gave you some positive with the negative, but that's sometimes the worst thing you can hear, is that this guy is somehow special and he doesn't have to work as hard, and maybe he doesn't but he doesn't deserve to get paid right now. That's how it felt to me, and that's how it sounded.
If I'm Micah, I'm like, come on, big dog. You can't be doing me like that.
See you in Oxnard.
Not
see how things go.
Sure, that interaction will be warm when they see each other.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll stay with the NFL. Matty, Aaron Rodgers went where while he was blowing off minicamp? Details next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Diamond Sellers Wedding Weekend is back. Shop buy one, get one half off wedding bands, 20% off diamond anniversary bands, and special offers on diamond engagement rings. Visit us at Diamond Sellers Wedding Weekend, Friday, July 26th and Saturday, July 27th on Sawmill Road.
The best of rivals, the best of two leagues meet again this summer. MLS versus Liga MX face off in the 2024 MLS All-Star, starting Sunday, July 21st. After a weekend of soccer celebrations, MLS All-Star Skills Challenge presented by AT&T will come to Lower.com Field on Tuesday, July 23rd, featuring MLS All-Stars versus Liga MX All-Stars as they show off the best of their skills. The two teams will match up once more at the 2024 MLS All-Star Game, presented by Target on Wednesday, July 24th. For more information on tickets and events, visit MLSsoccer.com/All-Star.
With surgery and drugs being the main options to treat chronic joint pain, that left orthopedic surgeons like Dr. Ray Tessner thinking,
geez, wouldn't it be nice if we can have another form of treatment that eliminates some of the downside and has a bigger upside as we learn more about it?
And then he found it. Regenerative medicine, an exciting, fast-growing approach to dealing with pain using healing agents from your own body.
Well, it's using the miracle benefits of the human body to help encourage healing.
Today, you'll find Dr. Tessner at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving patients lasting relief from joint pain in their knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
It's one of the best management tools that has come around in a long time.
Finally, options other than surgery and steroids. All natural regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics. Learn more. Call today for your free consultation.
Go to QCkinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Wouldn't it be fun if we went back and aired old Buckeye games where they kicked the crap out of people? It's happening, baby. Join Timmy Hall for Buckeye Replay, Saturday at 1.
This week, Ohio State and Washington in the 2019 Rose Bowl.
The Fan.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event. So give your friends something to look at and make this a summer to share and save. With a capable Kia SUV like the Sorento, Sportage, Seltos, or Telluride, or a powerful sedan like the fun-to-drive Forte, each backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. And for a limited time, get 1.9% APR for 48 months for well-qualified buyers and $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged 2024 Sportage and Sorento models. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Financing for 24 to 48 months from Kia Finance, subject to credit approval for purchase of a new 2024 Sportage or Sorento. Excludes hybrids and PHEVs. $21.65 per month per $1,000 financed at 48 months. $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged models must be applied as down payment. Must take delivery by 7/8/24. Limited inventory. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See retailer for details.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, mostly sunny, high 88. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 70. And on your Wednesday, look for afternoon showers and storms with a high of 93. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your Doppler 10 forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Listening to Rothman and Ice, the #1 rated midday show in Columbus.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right. The Rodgers saga. I don't know if that really comes to an end, and we've talked about this. Listen, the players are going to back him. Management's going to back him. Coaching staff's going to back him. He's Aaron Rodgers. He's the key to everything.
Let me ask you this, though, because you're right in saying that. But maybe I'm not going to bake you into this. in my opinion, there had to be some dudes in the locker room that were ticked off. They're not going to make it a public thing. They're not, because players are going to try to do their best to avoid that. But I can't imagine that everybody in the locker room was just like, you know what? This is great for us. The leader of the team essentially told us to, kick rocks because my time is more important. That can't go over well in a locker room. That's just my guess. So I think with what you said, that has been out there now. There's reporting, and reporters from New York are grabbing, comments off the record from players that are saying everything's fine, everything's fine. Of course they're going to say that, but there's no way that everybody, to me, was like, you know what? This is cool. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate you. I don't care if it was one practice. Show up. Show up.
Listen, I'm with you. We find out he went to Egypt.
Yeah, what is that?
Like, at first, I definitely wanted to leave room for, family event. That's the day it is. No way I can miss it, that kind of deal, right? And so you're leaving a little room for that. But then you find out it's kind of pre-planned. So the dates. Yeah. Things that are important, right? I mean, we really have a situation like we just talked about, where some guys are just above the fray and they get to do what they want. And it's not to say that we'll ever be able to measure this. It will never be measured. No one's going to say if the Jets lose, 2 of their first 3 games, well, if he wouldn't have gone to Egypt, you can't. You can, but there's no way to quantify it. There's no way to be able to say that equaled this loss or that equaled this victory. Mm-hmm. So that's why you can get away with it. And so here we are. And, you talk to Packer fan, and a lot of them that I've talked to, they're like, I'm glad we're kind of done with that. Now, I think they can easily say that because they feel really confident about Jordan Love. Right. If they had no answer at quarterback, they'd be like, you know what? This kind of stinks.
You want that old thing back.
Yeah, like the divorce between Rodgers and the Packers was, that was tough. It was contentious. He gets shipped to the Jets for a package of picks, and then all of a sudden, feels like he's the fountain of youth guy, and let's make Broadway Joe proud, and that Lombardi's lonely over there and all that.
Talk about it.
And so, you go back, the Jets got Rodgers. They got a 2023 first rounder, a 2023 fifth. The Packers got the 2023 first, number 13. So I think they swapped 13 and 15, maybe there. And then a second round pick and a sixth and a conditional. I thought both sides made out pretty well in the deal. This is pre-Achilles injury for him. And the Jets get this missing piece that they need for a Super Bowl run, and the Packers pick up a fair amount of picks for a guy who didn't exactly have a place with the team anymore. So that's why trades work, and here we are. So, but to find out this wasn't a family thing, or it wasn't like someone getting married, I got to be there, or
a medical reason, or anything like that, to your point, then everybody's like, you know what? Cool. Totally understand that. But,
by the way, who said it was Marcus Valdes-Scantling, of all people.
What he said.
A former teammate. He was on FS1 or whatever, and he was like, me and Aaron have been great friends. I told him I was coming out to L.A., let's run some routes. And they spent a day practicing some local high school, which has been cool to stumble into. And and then he said all the New York media can stand down because Aaron Rodgers is back from Egypt. It's not a secret anymore.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear from another one of his Green Bay homies. I don't. Like, of course, MVS is going to protect him. They play together, right? That relationship is intact. What is Garrett Wilson thinking of this? What is Sauce Gardner, the guys on defense, thinking of his leadership so far? And to your point, this may not matter. He's going to show up to training camp, and everything will probably be fine. My issue with his actions in this is you can't make public statements and throw everybody under the bus and say, if we don't get it done this year, we're probably all out of here, and you don't commit to the grind. That's my issue with this. At the end of the day, it's 2 to 3 practices. Every other quarterback in the NFL reported to mandatory minicamp. Every other one. But this guy decided my personal preference and my vacation time is more important than me spending a few hours a day with my guys trying to get better. If he never made the statements putting Robert Saleh's job on the line and putting the front office's job on the line, and that to me, I wouldn't be this wound up about it. But because he decided to do that and bake everybody else into it, that's when I got an issue.
Family, religion, medical, some monumental event that is only going to happen that weekend. You clear it with the team. It felt like the team was always a half step behind him being gone. That they just felt like they were half step. Yeah, we know. Yes, it was excused. No, it wasn't excused. Let's get that on the record that it wasn't totally excused, but we technically knew about it. Like they
don't want to look weak.
They just felt a half step behind their quarterback.
Yeah.
And so here we are. It's going to make for a fun season. He's got a real last run in him here. Everybody knows the talent he possesses in that arm and his smarts and his experience. You'll never take that away from him. You can't right now. It just depends on whether when he gets between those lines, he is a difference maker still. I think we believe that. We'll see. He's got to start this year at San Francisco. And we'll know right away, like, how serious the Jets are. If they can go out there and actually beat them on a Monday night, on the Monday night opener, because then they got very doable games. Like, if somehow they pull that off and they're 1-0 and they're going to Tennessee and come home for New England and Denver and the Vikes and Buffalo, and like all of a sudden they've got a chance. I think the Vikes is neutral or overseas.
Oh, that's a mimosa special. You love those.
Well, it's my team. 9:30 in the morning. And then Buffalo. I mean, they actually have a pretty decent schedule. But then, now that I look at their schedule, it's not.
It's what happens when you got Zach
awful.
Wilson playing quarterback for you for a year. You don't have a first place schedule. That's kind of the reward that you get.
Division's still tough. Miami and Buffalo. Those are no.
Buffalo's. We'll see with them. At least for me, with what they lost. But I think the Jets are going to be good this year. I think they're going to be really good.
Defense should be great.
Their defense is going to be elite again. I think it could be top 5. It's just going to be the offensive line that they did address both in the draft and via free agency. What does that look like? And if they hold up in front of this man, I still think he's got elite arm talent. And I'm all in on Garrett Wilson and what he can be, especially in the fantasy realm. So zooming out from this stupid mandatory minicamp decision that he made, when you lock into the football part of it, the Jets are going to be, I think, a very good team. And when the Jets are good, I think it's really good for the league. But you're absolutely right. That first game, Monday Night Football, in front of the world, little Nicky hunting him down on that D-line.
Yep.
I'm here for it. Let's roll.
I'll stay with the NFL. Cory Kinnan will jump on the air, Pro Football Writers Association, and he covers a lot in the NFL. We'll talk about the Brownies, the Jerry Jeudy effect. What can we expect? We'll ask him next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Listen up, gamers. Mountain Dew has always been your go-to for a refreshing citrus kick. Now it's also your go-to for gaming rewards. With Mountain Dew Gaming Rewards, you just look for codes under the caps of specially marked 20-ounce bottles of Mountain Dew. Enter those codes online to bank points, and then redeem them for awesome gaming gear. Everything from gift cards, game copies, controllers, consoles, custom Mountain Dew gaming gear, and more. Join Mountain Dew Gaming Rewards now.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at MountainDewGaming.com. Range 1525. Voter prohibited.
Atlas Butler is built to keep you comfortable, and our plumbing services are no exception. You can rely on Atlas Butler for trusted, convenient plumbing and drain service. Our expert plumbers and drain specialists can take care of anything, from a broken water heater to a clogged drain. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver, leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
Ready for an amazing deal? BreezeLine's fiber-powered internet starting at $19.99 per month offers the reliability you deserve and security you can trust. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working from home, we've got all your needs covered with speeds up to 1 gig and our 2-year price lock guarantee. This deal gets even better with 2 free months of internet, free equipment, and free Wi-Fi your way to protect against cyber threats. Act now. Terms and conditions apply. Offer expires July 8th, 2024. Learn more at breezeline.com.
Summer is full of family fun, strawberry picking, little Johnny's baseball games, warding off shark attacks on the beach.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
When you get sick of all that crap, turn to us. Download the Fan app and take us with you. The Fan.
O'Reilly.
Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get 15% off a set of Brake Best Select, Select Pro, or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors. Restore quality braking and improve stopping performance with parts and advice from the professional parts people. Save money now when you visit O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Raising Cane's iced tea is the official iced tea of me, iced tea. Now, I've heard some people don't order iced tea with their box combos. I've also heard some people spontaneously combust. Sip on that for a while. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Chaps here with a message from Paige and her entire Awaken 180 team. They want to wish all the fan listeners a happy and healthy Independence Day week. Having a party? Find your free recipes at Awaken 180 on all social media channels.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BICEP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BICEP to 321-321. That's BICEP to 321-321.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Dog friendly. And if you ain't down with that, this is Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back in. Pleased to welcome to the program Cory Kinnan, Browns Wire, USA Today. Covers the National Football League, is with us now on the Bryant Heating Coin Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Cory, welcome.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What did you think of the Jerry Jeudy contract with the Browns? I looked at it and I thought, wow, this is a massive overpay. Now, could he work out? Of course, and he's talented. You're betting on like the refresh and the upside. Did you think he was worth that price tag?
Worth it today? No. Worth it tomorrow? Maybe. I think I look at it similar to tight end David Njoku's contract, right? Like a few years ago, he was Austin Hooper's backup. They cut Austin Hooper, and they paid David Njoku top 5 tight end money when he wasn't even the starting tight end the year before. And at the time, everybody said, wow, this is a massive overpay. And now you look at it, and he's like the 8th, 9th highest paid tight end in the NFL, and he's on quite a bargain at that deal. So I think they clearly see something with Jeudy. They have for years. They've tried to trade for him for 3 years now, and so they finally got him. And, a lot of the advanced metrics show him as, an elite separator. He knows how to get open. Can he play through contact better? Sure. Can he catch the ball a little bit better? Sure, although I think his drops have been a little bit overstated over the past 2 years. His health is certainly an issue as well. He hasn't played a full season. So today, yeah, it looks like an overpay, sure. But what this Browns front office has proven willing to do is to try to forecast a player's production in what they want him to do. It worked with Njoku. We'll see if it works with Jeudy. I think the opportunity, assuming his health, will certainly be there as you look at the wide receiver room and outside of Amari Cooper. It's a lot of unproven players. So the opportunity will be there. It's just up to Jeudy now to live up to it.
Corey, let's stay in the wide receiver room because that's where I wanted to start, and specifically with Elijah Moore. Let's go back to what you thought of him in year one as a Brown, and now flipping the page over to 24. Like, how do you think he's going to be used within this offense now with a new offensive coordinator?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think they really want to get more explosive. I didn't love, the first really 8 to 9, 10 weeks last year. He was used as just a gadget slot, right? A lot of jet motion, a lot of manufactured touches, and it wasn't something that he thrived at because he's not really good through contact. He's not going to break tackles in the open field, and he's not going to turn out those yards. Similar to Jeudy, though, what Elijah Moore is good at doing is he's good at route running. He's good at creating separation, and he's good at getting open. And so I think we saw some of that near the end of the year, that Rams game where, he had that 100-yard game, that Jets game, that Thursday night game where he unfortunately got hurt, but he was having a big night that night too. Allowing him to just get downfield and actually run routes would be something I would love to see them do. Again, I think they also have an understanding that Elijah Moore also has limitations. The same way that Jeudy has limitations, the same way that Cedric Tillman has limitations. But I think what they are looking at now is where does Elijah Moore with his puzzle piece fit in with these other puzzle pieces? And I don't think that's as a gadget slot. I think they still will do some of that stuff, but I would love to see Moore get some more action actually running routes down the field and allowing him to use his elite agility and that route running ability to get open.
Cory Kinnan with us, Browns Wire here on Rothman and Ice on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fangest Hotline. So we know they have perhaps the single best defensive player in the league in Myles Garrett. They've got a solid secondary. Denzel Ward, of course, back there. Schwartz now back for another year. They should be absolute lock top 10 defense, maybe even top 5, maybe even the best. Who knows? We'll get your opinion on that. But where they suffered a little bit was red zone defense, certainly against the run last year. How confident do you feel after seeing what you saw, what C.J. Stroud did to that defense, on whether that was just an anomaly and where they will be this year?
Yeah, I think Jim Schwartz is kind of hitting it on some of his press conferences is the lack of a changeup that he had last year and just throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs all season long. And then, by the time you got to the end of the season, and especially in the playoffs with Texans offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick, he learned how to take advantage of that. And again, they had some injuries in that game in the secondary. Ronnie Hickman, undrafted rookie out of Ohio State, was starting that game. So there were some other things that Slowick was able to put under the microscope. But really, Schwartz's philosophy has been, we're going to play fast, we're going to play strong, and we're not going to overcomplicate things. But I think playing fast and playing aggressive kind of became a little predictable, right? So I do think he is going to throw in a few more change-ups this year, and he's got the players to do it. Again, you've got the corners to allow Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, those guys up front to get home. You've got the pressure up front to allow the secondary you have in the back end to make plays on the football if errant throws are forced. So, and again, you don't have young players on that defense. Pretty much everybody in a contributing role is a third year or more veteran. So I think you have the guys in that room where if you want to put more on their plate, which Jim Schwartz has said he wants to do, you have the personnel to do it. Again, Mike Hall is going to see snaps, but really they have an established 4-man rotation already. So he's going to see the field in pass rush situations. They're not going to ask him to do a whole lot except attack the quarterback. So, and he's their youngest player. Outside of that, maybe Alex Wright, their rotational defensive end, is their next youngest guy, and he's a third-year player now. So they have the experience, they have the savvy, they have the defensive coordinator, but it will just come to adapting and not becoming so predictable. We're just going to run cover 3, we're going to run cover 1, and we're going to rush 4. Can they disguise it a little bit more? Can they throw a little bit more at opposing offenses?
So going back to offense, let's talk a little bit about these running backs. Nick Chubb just seems to be like a question mark for now as far as what his availability will look like throughout training camp and, hopefully not, but maybe the early portion of the season. Let's say that worst case scenario does come into play and he has to miss a few games. Corey, hit us with your confidence level that they have guys in that running back room that can throw out a nice punch via the run this year if number 24 isn't available.
Yeah, I think it's two-phased. Was it the injury to the offensive line or was it the injury to Nick Chubb? I think it's both. But how much played into the inefficiency of Jerome Ford? It's not a surprise to anybody who watched Browns football last year that Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt were not very efficient with the football. It was laborious to try to get 3 yards per carry. Kareem Hunt, really, they threw out there and were like, can you get us just get in the end zone, right? Get us 1 yard, get us 2 yards. And I think a lot of it had to do with the injuries to the offensive line. As good as DeJuan Jones is in pass pro, he's not going to be able to get to the boundary and outside zone a whole lot. He's not going to be able to climb to the second level the way that Jack Conklin could. And he wasn't the only injured guy. And in fact, Wyatt Teller's the only player on that offensive line who played the entire season. But I do think there is something to say about Jerome Ford, too. And I think he's explosive. I question his eyes. I question some agility. But I do think that they're going to give him every opportunity. Where does my confidence level lie? Maybe a 6. I'll push it right over the 50-50 fence line there. But I also like the addition of Deontay Foreman. I think he's a step up from what was left in the tank and Kareem Hunt. And if you look at the sample size of Deontay Foreman, it's not very big. But when he has had the opportunity to take bulks of carry, he's been an extremely efficient running back. So I think the Browns saw that. I think the Browns like that. And I do think that's a better 1-2 punch with Jerome Ford than Kareem Hunt was a year ago. Ideally, Nick Chubb is their week 1, but, nobody really knows. But I have a little bit more confidence level that Jerome Ford, there is a little bit more there with Jerome Ford than we saw last year, and I think some of that has to do with the health of the offensive line.
Corey, did Kevin Stefanski winning NFL Coach of the Year convince Browns fans that he is the right man for the job? I feel like that's always a toss-up when you talk to Browns fans about how they feel and the comfort they feel having Kevin Stefanski and then having him win Coach of the Year last year and how they feel about him.
I don't think you could ever convince a fan base that the coach they have is the right guy for the job. I mean, I think you hear Mike Tomlin get thrown out as like, we need to move on from Mike Tomlin. Bill Belichick last year, and he did get fired. But I don't know if there's anything he could do that could convince Browns fans that Kevin Stefanski is the right man for the job. I think he's the right man for the job. I think the way that coaches operate in 2024 is much different than the way that Browns fans grew up rooting for Browns football in the 1980s and 90s when they were good. But I do think Kevin Stefanski is a really good communicator. I think he's really ingenious in the way that he designs his offense. I think he connects to the players well. I think him and Andrew Berry work really well together. So I think he's the right man for the job. But convincing Browns fans of that, I think, is a really tough ask.
Where do you think they should go with Amari Cooper, maybe numbers-wise or years-wise when it comes to a new deal? Because we know that's where he's at right now. He and his camp are looking for that. But what are your thoughts on maybe what Amari should get at this point?
Yeah, so that's the conversation of, do you pay for future production or past production? And I think the answer to that is you're always trying to pay for future production. That's why Jerry Jeudy got paid. They're trying to future cast. He's a young guy. We see it in our metrics. With Amari Cooper, it's a little bit different. He's 30. He has dealt with some injury history still, even in Cleveland, but he's also had his 2 most productive seasons as a pro in Cleveland. So I think that's kind of the difficulty is, 1, yes, we do extend him. 2, how long and how much? I think that's really the hard question right now. And kind of I think where Cleveland's camp is sitting is, we're willing to extend him another year, maybe even give him a bump and pay this year, but we don't want to lock into 3 years of guaranteed money, maybe not even to 2 years of guaranteed money. So it's just a really hard conversation to discuss when you're talking about a 30-year-old receiver. But again, I think Cooper's coming off 2 really productive seasons, and the quarterback play hasn't been ideal, to say the least. It might be the worst in the National Football League in which he's done that. Not to say that Jacoby Brissett and Deshaun Watson were the worst quarterbacks in 2022, but he's played with 7 different quarterbacks now in 2 seasons in Cleveland. So, and to put up that kind of production, again, career seasons for him in that environment tells you who he is as a player, who he is as a worker, and I think they want to reward that. But the question comes down to, man, do we just extend this for 1 year, and his camp is obviously wanting more long-term security than that. But then for the Browns, like how much security can we give him, knowing that he is 30?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? There's always somebody barking, whether they deserve it or not, and he may. But you're right. It's about trying to manage expectations with future and age and injury and all that. So good stuff, Corey. Always, that's a really nice conversation. We'll have you back again soon. Thanks.
I appreciate you.
Yep, Cory Kinnan, Browns Wire, USA Today, on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We come back with a Buckeye Bulletin, and Jake Diebler beating out a rival and others for a 4-star kid. We'll tell you about it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
No hot takes, no dancing, plenty of stupid. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Bobby Carpenter here for Affinity Whole Health, the leader in the testosterone and hormone replacement therapy game. and weight loss too. That's right. Affinity offers semaglutide injections for weight loss in addition to their testosterone treatments, so you can lose weight and build muscle. They customize a plan directly for you. They added peptides to my TRT. They've added semaglutide with my friend's testosterone, and the results are amazing. They're pumped about summertime and pool season, so check them out at feelgreatcolumbus.com. That's feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Okay, so that's the final price. Oh, an extra fee to drive here. Is that it? A knock on the door fee. So is that the final price? A 15% Wednesday surcharge. What for? Oh, because it's Wednesday. Of course. Can I get back to you on this?
Apex Pros, the pros who knows.
This quote you gave me, are there any other charges I don't know about?
Other charges?
Like an it's too sunny fee or my dog wet the carpet tax?
No, Apex always gives you upfront pricing.
No surprise fees?
Never.
No charge if your stomach hurts or you lost your library card?
Upfront pricing every time at Apex Pros, whether it's plumbing, heating, and AC, or our new electrical services.
I'll call you right back. Hello, other company? Hi, me again.
It's Alex, the friendly Apex Bear. You'll never get a surprise charge with the Apex Pros upfront price guarantee. Schedule an appointment now at apexpros.com.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out. Summer grilling just got better with new Pepsi Lime and Pepsi Peach. Available for a limited time.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Attention aspiring media stars. Are you ready to take your talent to the next level? Register for your chance to win the Be On Air Summer Slam contest. This is your chance to showcase your skills in a thrilling 30-second live script challenge. Visit now at studiocontest.com to secure your spot and compete for amazing prizes, including a 4-hour studio session, Shure MV7 microphone, and Audio-Technica M20X headphones. Don't miss out on this dynamic event. Be On Air Summer Slam contest, where talent meets opportunity. Visit studiocontest.com and sign up today.
Hey, what's up, Buckeye Nation? It's Cardell Jones. Join me Saturday, July 20th at Huntington Park for the Smiths Cardell Jones Charity Softball Game presented by Monogram Homes and the U.S. Air Force. Come check out former Buckeye greats take on this year's current Buckeye stars such as Emeka Ibuka, Jaden Ballard, and many more. Come see and meet the Buckeyes before they hit the field this fall. Gates open at 5 p.m. Contests and prizes all night long. Home run derby at 6:30 and the game to follow. Tickets available at BuckeyeCruise.com. Why picnic when you can smicknick? Get your $10 tickets now at BuckeyeCruise.com.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. A jacuzzi bath system fits in your existing tub space. It's a no-mess installation with an amazing style selection, factory-certified installers, and a limited lifetime warranty. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599 right now and get 50% off installation with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Replace that old bathtub today with a walk-in shower for a safer bathing experience. If you have lived in your home for over 15 years, it's time to remodel your bathroom. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599. 800-717-4599.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the heat? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on train systems, including 0% APR for 60 months.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. And I know this kid's from Richmond Heights, and so it wouldn't be necessarily a steal to keep a guy from Ohio. But there was a lot of momentum, I felt like, with Rutgers and the way they were landing some 4-stars and 5-star kids for basketball. And they felt that momentum was going to continue. And I'll get CB's take on that in a minute. But because he went there. Dorian Jones went there and took an official visit to Rutgers.
Yeah, you were mentioning Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. They're currently, for most mock drafts for 2025, the number 2 and number 3 guy at this point.
Yeah, Rutgers is supposed to be nice next year. I can't wait for those guys.
Well, they did lose a lot of guys that were on the roster last season, so it will be a new group of guys. But yes, the top 2 dogs are going to be pretty good.
CB, when you're telling me there's some potential lottery picks that they have, they can cover for some of that if they are as good as advertised. And one of my favorite road venues for basketball, Rutgers. It gets cracking in there, man.
They wanted him to be the foundation of the 2025 class. And they had the big class coming in that we mentioned, and he's a defensive guy. He can bring a lot of energy to the table. He can guard anybody on the floor, and he could get bigger. He can get stronger because he's 6'4", 170, something like that. And so he can certainly get bigger and stronger. And he is the number 15 shooting guard in the 2025 class. So it was Rutgers, it was Michigan, it was Mizzou, and it was Ohio State. And he is a Buckeye.
There we go.
And Jake got a good one here. And like I said, you don't throw too many parades when you keep an Ohio kid. But now in this age of NIL and everything else, like nothing's a guarantee.
Celebrate it.
It used to be that if a kid left Ohio to go somewhere else, you blamed the kid. You didn't blame the school for losing him.
Yeah.
It was almost like, how dare you do an about face?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, hey, sometimes you're recruiting. You know how you're recruiting the own guy? Hey, listen, we're at an age now where you're recruiting guys on your own team. Yeah. You already have them and you're recruiting them, let alone guys you don't have. So that's a cool prospect. Well done for Jake Diebler. It's the first guy, by the way, for the 2025 class. So he is the foundation now, but he's the foundation here. He's an all-Ohio kid, Division IV, and led Richmond Heights to a state title. He's averaging 14 a game.
Love to hear it.
Here you go.
There you go. Listen, we don't need to throw like that Michael Rubin 4th of July party, which, by the way, is coming up again this weekend. So
I just can't eat wearing all white clothing.
Of course
it's
you
so
can.
dangerous.
Just act like an adult and eat,
Yeah, but not if they're serving shrimp cocktails and you're dipping it in that sauce.
Tuck a little napkin in there.
Or is anybody doing that?
I would think that's why you have it there.
How about a bib?
I don't know. I don't know if that's actually happening this weekend. I hope it does, because the visuals that we got last year, the who's who that was in the building was absolutely crazy. So we don't need to throw a Michael Rubin party for this, signing. But maybe we should throw like a little Chuck E. Cheese pizza party like back in the day. Chuck E. Cheese was the best, man. They had some of the best pizza in the game. Sneaky good pizza, Chuck E. Cheese. Nothing?
A little Shakey's
you
pizza?
You ever have pizza from Chuck E. Cheese? No? Okay.
I haven't. I would like to. I'm willing to try.
Some of the little mascots in there were creepy when I was a kid, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to work here. This is good stuff.
I want to get back to the rules of the white party food. Yeah. Like there have to be some rules.
No mott sticks is what you're saying.
Well, the one thing you're saying to me, it's white clothing top to bottom. We'll probably need to get into this after the bulletin. Because I feel like if you are going to serve food, and it's a lot of apps, a lot of finger foods.
See, here's the thing. You don't watch diners, drive-ins, and dives. And Guy Fieri has shown us. You got the tactic where you got to lean back, get the elbows out, and then you're clear. You got a clear path down to the floor. You got to learn from Guy Fieri. But
he's leaving no room for a splatter.
From where?
Some kind of something.
What's splattering, though?
Cutting into something. Some sauce, some this.
Well,
I told my nephew, by the way, happy birthday, Brett. It's his birthday today.
Shout out to you, Brett.
I told him when we got him that Masters quarter zip, and I go home and we're going out for, maybe it was my dad's birthday. I'm like, you're not wearing that, are you? He's like, well, we're going out on a birthday party. Why wouldn't I want to wear my new Masters quarter zip?
Come on, Uncle Anthony.
I'm like, because something's going to happen.
Because I paid for it.
Well, that's it, too. But I think something's going to happen. And guess what? Something happened. There was some sort of grease or something that we noticed on the bottom left. I'm like, where'd that come from? Who knows?
Here's the thing.
It's like CB when we were in L.A. How'd you get that on your sleeve? I don't know.
I still don't know to this day.
Right. Our boy Hayden.
Shout out
with
to
the
Hayden.
gelato that he dribbled off that brand new Super Bowl hoodie.
Well, here's the thing, AR. You have to have some type of hors d'oeuvres or finger foods at a party. You can't just be the host of a party and not have anything. So I don't even know if when you host an all-white party, you're well aware of what you laid out because it is a fair point. But I think we're talking like a charcuterie board. Maybe some little sandwiches with not a lot of sauce on it, little triangle sandwiches. We get the toothpick. You
get that guy leaning over to take a bite of something so he doesn't drip it on himself.
Or you could just eat like a normal person and not miss your mouth. That's kind of where I'm at with this too. I don't think I love when you go to a party and you have like the meatballs on a stick, but I wouldn't advise that at an all-white party.
Not staying on a toothpick.
So maybe we just chill out on a lot of the sauces because I'm with you on that. But you got to have something.
You do have to have something, and it's listen. I'm not saying that I care about those people. Don't care about dripping food on themselves. They can afford other clothing. It's just having to be there with that stain on there, especially if it happens in the first quarter of the evening. That's all.
That would be tough.
Where's Matty? He's in the bathroom.
You know what?
Why? He's trying to get some sauce off the left chest of the shirt he wore.
You know what? With the way some of these athletes look, if that happened to me, I'd probably just walk around shirtless after that. Because you could pull it off.
That's an option.
With some of these professional athletes there. But real quick, AR, getting back to this signing here of Dorian Jones. Big-time stuff for Coach Diebler, right? Especially because you haven't really laid down a track record or a resume of who you are as a coach. So the fact that there's buy-in no matter what it is right now I think is good, and keeping these in-state guys in-house that are elite prospects is absolutely what you want. Then you got Marcus Johnson coming down the line, too, in 2026, who's a big-time recruit in the state of Ohio as well. So Coach Diebler, his staff, cook it up as a Buckeye fan. That's what you want to see.
Yep, laid down a monster. That's very good, and it's a good start to 2025. However, again, we're not fast-forwarding past what he has to do this season coming up. All right, we will get back after it after a SportsCenter update. We'll get into a deep dive. And Hard Knocks, you guys say it's firing out tonight? Is that right?
This is just one version of Hard Knocks. This is the off-season version of Hard Knocks with the G-Men, the New York Giants.
Well, we can think of a lot of other teams the world of sports should be tapping into. That's next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
In a world without Mountain Dew, life would be pretty dull. So grab yourself a Mountain Dew and get that incomparable blast of neon citrus flavor. Hey, if you're not having an outrageously good time, you're not drinking Dew. Do the Dew.
Hey, Ohio! Make memories that will last a lifetime at the Ohio State Fair, July 24th through August 4th. Experience the food, entertainment, animals, shopping, rides, and more. July 24th through August 4th. Tickets on sale at ohiostatefair.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar.
Whether it's a walk-off granny or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 and older, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Chaps here with a message from Paige and her entire Awaken 180 team. They want to wish all the fan listeners a happy and healthy Independence Day week. Having a party? Find your free recipes at Awaken 180 on all social media channels.
Temps are heating up, and so are the ticket deals this summer with Vivid Seats. Whether it's scoring tickets for a night out at the ballpark or witnessing the rising stars of women's basketball, Vivid Seats has you covered. With a robust rewards program and wide selection of tickets, Vivid Seats makes it easy to score great deals on great seats with a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you the peace of mind for the ultimate fan experience. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Do summer projects your way with 4th of July savings from the Home Depot. With free delivery on over 2 million items, you can make the most of summer grilling and dig into gardening. Plus, get same-day delivery on thousands of products like power tools and storage to tackle any last-minute garage project. Summer your way with 4th of July savings from the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Order select and stock items by 4 p.m. subject to availability.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Timmy Hall. Good afternoon. One of the most fun things to do for former NCAA athletes these days is to sue the NCAA. That's what a group of former college basketball players, including Mario Chalmers and Jason Terry, are doing, suing the association and multiple conferences, including the Big Ten, for unauthorized use of their name, image, and likeness in March Madness highlights. We'll see where that goes. Ohio State football got a commitment from Maxwell Roy, 6'3", 270-pound, four-star defensive tackle from St. Joe's Prep in Philly. That was yesterday. That boosts their number one ranked 2025 recruiting class. In hoops, Jake Diebler got a boom from four-star Richmond Heights Cleveland guard Dorian Jones, first recruit in the 25 class for them. The Blue Jackets have their new man to wear the headset in the TV booth. It's Steve Mears, worked for NHL Network, done play-by-play with the Penguins and Islanders, and is a Western PA native and Bowling Green grad. Breaking sports news on The Fan.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, final hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. CB, we got a nice, Maddie, too. We got a nice event coming up.
No doubt about it. It's the Schmitz-Cardale Jones Celebrity Softball Game. It's on its way, folks. And why picnic when you can Schmitnick? And it is presented by Monogram Homes in the U.S. Air Force. Saturday, July 20th, 6:30 p.m. in Huntington Park. Current Ohio State football players versus former Ohio State football players. The captains of this thing, you'll have Cardale Jones with the former players. And for the current players, it's going to be wide receiver Emeka Egbuka. Tickets are only $10, and they are available today at BuckeyeCruise.com. Tickets are $10, and you can scoop them up at BuckeyeCruise.com. We were talking about the Michael Rubin 4th of July party. And for those that don't know, Michael Rubin's, he's worth about $11.5 billion. You know, that's, you can do a little, you can do some fun things with that. But last year, some attendees, you're talking about Leonardo DiCaprio, J-Lo and Ben Affleck.
I mean, you could stop at Leo because all you think about then is Wolf of Wall Street. That's all I would imagine this party being if it wasn't.
Correct.
I mean, if it wasn't all celebrities, because it's a little too risque for all of that. But when you said him, all I thought about was the party that he threw when he met Margot Robbie. That's all I think about.
Beyond, by the way, that movie's so good.
It's a little bit
I think that movie is so good.
Yes,
I'm not blanking, leaving like all of it.
Well,
like,
I
think Donovan Mitchell actually dropped that gift today, or the video on Twitter. So if a Cavs fan, you got to be loving that. But Beyonce and Jay-Z, Justin and Hailey Bieber, CB's a big soccer guy, Mbappe was in the house. And this article is telling me that it says this year the invitations were sent out in mid-May. An original personalized work by acclaimed artist George Kondo, with each invitation estimated at more than $35,000. I mean, when you're a billionaire, you just, hey, what do my invitations cost? Yeah, you want me to read that again? This year, the invitations were sent out in mid-May, an original personalized work by acclaimed artist George Kondo, with each invitation estimated at more than $35,000. What's more is last week, and let me get you this, because this article was written yesterday on the party. What's more is last week, Rubin sent each guest white Nike sneakers numbered and customized in a briefcase. One pair's estimated to cost $50,000.
So it's like a limited, like that's it.
You know what this is like? The invitations.
Run.
What's the, is it White Onion? What's the one?
Glass Onion?
The Glass Onion. Yeah. The mystery where the invitations go out at the beginning and they're all crazy. That's what this reminds me of.
Yeah.
Right here is Michael Rubin just spending tens of thousands of dollars on invitations. But I guess when you're inviting the biggest celebrities in the world, you got to do that.
I mean, it's weird. So we think this party may be toast now? It's done?
No, it's happening. Because this, like I said, this article was written yesterday.
Okay.
These are the invitations that went out this year. So it's on and popping this weekend. out in the Hamptons or right around, East Hampton, 3 hours outside of New York.
And you can't buy your way in. You can't just call them up and say, can I come if I'm a certain celebrity?
It doesn't sound like it.
That's awesome. Very Augusta-like.
If you're anybody, you're getting invited to this thing. So I cannot wait to see the drone videos again. And because the video that he put out on his Instagram last year was just crazy. It's hard to keep up with. You're like, wait a minute, I know that person. I know this person. They were there. Like, it was the definition of a who's who.
It's a diamond
I'm
encrusted.
imagine real quick with the invitations probably going out around the same time last year in mid-May for C.J. Stroud to get invited probably a little bit after the draft. That's pretty impressive.
That's a flex. Like Joe Burrow was in the building, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker.
Kind of wondering how the agents work behind the scenes to get their guy there.
Well, it helps with him being connected to Fanatics. I mean,
that's it.
I got to imagine that helps.
That's a big piece.
And this is in the Hamptons, you say?
This is in the Hamptons.
The Hampton Tomatoes.
This is when the Tom Brady and Kim Kardashian rumor started to pop off last year. Remember that?
Yeah. What happened there?
I don't think we really got anything out of it because
they did make a joke of it at the roast of Tom Brady when she went up on stage.
She was getting booed like crazy, wasn't she? But I think she ended up getting into a little relationship with Odell that is no longer intact. So that's where we're at. This is one of my favorite weekends because not only is it 4th of July, but this event is just silly that you can get everybody that has all these crazy schedules and these huge names in one spot at the same time. It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers might be in Egypt. He might miss it. But it says wannabes have been offering up to 7 figures to buy their way in.
Yeah.
Though tickets to this event aren't for sale.
They shouldn't be.
No.
They shouldn't be. I don't even know if Aaron Rodgers would be a good time at a party. He'd be talking to you about a whole bunch of weird stuff. It's like, Aaron, get out of here.
Sources, by the way, my biggest thing was about the food.
Yeah.
Sources say food served at Rubin's, the estate is $50 million. Include eats from Brooklyn Pizza, some Brooklyn pizza place.
You love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well as something else, some kind of some eateries that are in New York. The Jay-Z and Beyonce they love and all that.
Okay, that always plays. Maybe Jay-Z he owns the 40/40 Club, so maybe you get some stuff out of there. But it also says
bottles.
They can afford it. They can afford it, right? It says guests offered a selection of the finest champagnes and cognacs, and Kevin Hart's tequila, which the actor himself served in shot glasses.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about some stories coming out of this thing when the drone goes down. Like, all right, cameras are down.
Did you tell me that when we talked about this, and it seems like we talk about this every year, kind of like the Bobby Bonilla thing. Did we talk about the fact that they make them check their phones or no?
Oh, we're doing NDAs?
At this party.
That doesn't surprise me.
You come in, you check your phone,
you
have a good time, everybody be present.
Yeah, let's protect ourselves here.
And not only that, just be
present.
Just be people.
Yeah, be where your feet are. Like, I absolutely feel you on that. But you don't want any type of scandalous, sketchy TikTok, Twitter video coming out of this thing in the world that we live in.
No, because everybody's always watching.
You know how
everyone's recording.
Imagine how cool it must be when you get, like even if you're like a worker, if you're parking the cars or you're walking around with the trays, like, man, your NDA is ironclad. You better not say a darn thing. But imagine the memories you're walking out of there with.
Accidentally spill something on somebody. I'm telling you, that would be the party to be employed. I agree.
No question. It doesn't get any better than
Not only
this.
would you do it for free, you might pay to actually work.
Yeah, I would absolutely do this for free. Just for the memories alone.
Yeah.
Like everywhere. It's like, when we go to Radio Row, every time you turn around, there's an athlete that right around. But this is on a whole nother level.
I enjoy getting big timed and talked down to. That seems like this would be a party for me to go to. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me.
Oh, man. Yep. It's happening this weekend. Yep. So hopefully we get some footage. Michael Rubin, that's how you do it. When you're a billionaire, this is the stuff you do. You flex like this.
I don't think anybody ever got fully comfortable with this Hard Knocks filming, right? Isn't that what we heard coming out of New York? It was the GM? Yeah, I think the GM said that they kind of were starting to get used to the cameras being around, and you'd be in your office, and I'd look, and it hadn't moved yet today, or we'd have a conversation with somebody, and the next thing you know, you see the camera moving and zooming in on somebody. this is not a shock to anybody anymore. These guys grow up with it. They've always got their phones out. And so I think some guys embrace it, some guys don't. It's a distraction. You're balancing this, right? You're balancing brand awareness and getting your team out there versus the distraction of it. And you and I started thinking, and you brought up the idea of, like, we could hand pick a Hard Knocks for certain teams right now.
Anybody you want. Like, if it's a current team playing in baseball, I'll send an HBO crew wherever you want to cook up your own Hard Knocks. Which team would you want to follow right now? Maybe a college football team getting ready to get it going.
So those are good, and I do think that the obvious one that jumps to my mind is father and son Lakers. Like, I think if we don't get that, like the fact that Bronny's going to be playing alongside his dad or practicing with his dad, like the fact that he wanted to be on the floor with his boy, he said that after 23, I got to be on the floor with my boy. And now they are. Because he even said either in the same uniform or a matchup against him, either one. But now that they are wearing the same uniform, it feels to me like that's the one. And by the way, I was the one that said he doesn't even have to move out of the house. So, that would even be better.
I don't know
if they just followed him from the house to practice. Like,
don't you want out though?
Maybe daddy's going to drive his son to the practice like he did when he was a kid. So the number one for me would be father and son Lakers.
I like that. That would
behind the scenes.
Because then it's also like, what do you got, JJ Redick? What's he like as a head coach?
That's the one for me that jumps out to me. If you told me there was a Hard Knocks about any sport, any team right now, what would I watch? If you put the Lakers in there, I'm in.
That'd be a banger. Listen, I got to go with the Cowboys. And it's not only because of what we talked about earlier. It's like, what are the daily operations like with Jerry Jones? What's he up to? Is Steven really in charge of anything, or is Jerry just having him kind of on the bill? I don't know. But when it comes to Dak specifically, this contract situation, I would love to see what the inner workings of that behind the scenes because of his temperament, and maybe he is perfectly fine with everything. But you got three massive stars who all have their palms out right now, and they want big-time deals. You got Zeke back in the building. He's always an entertaining guy. Micah Parsons is an entertaining guy as well. If we could drop right now the HBO cameras into the Dallas Cowboys facility with everything that I just mentioned, a head coach that's feeling a bunch of pressure himself too to get this thing right and take them deep into the postseason because he may be jobless, I'd be in on the Dallas Cowboys as well right now.
All right, here's the other one for me, and this doesn't sound great, but I think it could be, and I'm going to go the complete opposite way because it's never fun to watch a losing team when you're watching them play. That's not fun. And certain teams aren't fun to watch, yet we still watch them. I would like to watch an absolute disaster right now of the worst team, maybe historically the worst team in baseball, in the Chicago White Sox.
Oh, God.
Now, it doesn't sound appropriate because a year ago at this time, many were calling the Oakland A's historically awful, and they were. And because there were like 5 teams ever that have lost 112 or more. The White Sox right now are currently 30 games out of first. They're 24-62. The more amazing thing to me is the run differential of minus 162. Now, the record, if you go back like 20 years, the Tigers of 03 had a minus 337 run differential.
Okay,
I think the White Sox were on pace for minus 361. So not only to beat it, but shatter it.
Yeah.
And so if you're telling me, because I recall someone from Sox management saying they wanted to build around, what are you building around? What is that room like? It's not going to move the needle. It's not going to move the needle, and I understand that. But if you're telling me, because we're all used to watching great teams and great stories and drama that you just brought up, how about we take the most historically bad professional team and do a behind the scenes on them to see, are they just that bad talent-wise, or is something like systemic wrong in the organization?
I like that because, to your point, sometimes something can be so bad it's good. And we did this last year with the Detroit Pistons when they were on that historical losing streak. It became kind of comical and entertaining to watch. Last one for me. I need more HBO cameras to get dropped into King's Landing to follow around Team Green, a.k.a. the High Towers, because I don't know what the hell's going on in House of Dragon and what they're doing in the Red Keep. Not because the story's not good, because their family is a complete mess. You got Aegon, this young king that he is just a complete hothead. His brother Aemon just hanging out in brothels all day doing absolutely nothing. Nobody wants to listen.
Hanging out there and doing nothing, or he's hanging out.
What he's doing. He's hanging out.
The rest of his life he's doing nothing.
He's hanging out. Nobody wants wants to listen to Helena, and she's got the visions and telling everybody what's going to happen, but she seems to get ignored. And then we got Allison. Allison completely getting the Prince That Was Promised thing wrong from Viserys last season. So I need more HBO cameras to follow around every single second of what Team Green, a.k.a. the Hightowers, are doing in King's Landing, because they're a joke right now as a family.
All right, we'll leave it at that because I think that's a good one. And I need it just because I need a refresher course on the whole deal.
Oh, God.
It's all ball bearings these days.
You want to be on Team Black with me, not Team Green. They're a joke.
All right. How many episodes are we in on this new season?
I want to say season? 4, maybe 5.
And there was one last. How many seasons have we had of House?
Just one.
Okay.
Yeah, you only got 8 episodes this season, so it won't be too much.
There is a receiver out there who was asked if a certain team's offer is way off or is it right in line. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Listen up, gamers. Mountain Dew has always been your go-to for a refreshing citrus kick. Now it's also your go-to for gaming rewards. With Mountain Dew Gaming Rewards, you just look for codes under the caps of specially marked 20-ounce bottles of Mountain Dew. Enter those codes online to bank points, and then redeem them for awesome gaming gear. Everything from gift cards, game copies, controllers, consoles, custom Mountain Dew gaming gear, and more. Join Mountain Dew Gaming Rewards now.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at mountaindewgaming.com and 2525. Voter prohibited.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things that you love? Bone-on-bone pain in your knee, arthritic pain like I was having in my knee, maybe your hip, your back, your shoulder. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that you can get lasting relief from. QC Kinetics is helping patients like you every day here in Columbus, led by Dr. Ray Tesner. I'm talking about cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. Listen, my dad was having knee pain. I was having knee pain. So we went over to QC Kinetics, and they were able to help us out. And 2 years out, I'm still feeling good. My dad can still move around. So learn how QC Kinetics can treat pain and enhance your joints and restore your mobility and give you long-term lasting relief with no downtime. So check them out. Go to 380-208-4544 or head to one of their offices in Dublin, Gehanna, or now the new one that's most recently opened in Grove City.
If you're obsessed with fantasy sports and gambling things, we have the slightly above average radio show for you. On the Money with Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Wednesday night at 8 on The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony for the Good Feet store. 3 words for me: pain-free summer. Spent probably 30 hours walking around the Memorial Tournament and felt awesome with my personal art supports from the Good Feet store in my everyday kicks. Sure, every now and then we all get random foot pain from pickleball or golf or just being a human being. Having my personally fit art supports in my shoes has made a massive difference. And even right after I put them in, didn't take long to feel much more supported and aligned, and it's so easy to just move them into any pair. Before I had them, I dreaded being on my feet for any length of time. Well, you have nothing to lose but the pain, as they say. It's a free fitting and test walk. Try them for yourself. See the difference it can make. It did for me. And best of all, you can wear them home. 2 locations on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road, or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet store, America's arch supports experts.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Manny Chopra, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value and have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, and are bound by the highest ethical standards. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, please visit oda.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, looking at a lot of sunshine, high 88. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 70. Wednesday, we see the return of afternoon showers and storms with a high of 93. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your Doppler 10 forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, a little Bet365 time.
Yes, sir, AR, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary, and you can see for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5.
Well, I lost in the soccer last night. Well done. That is just a crapper. That's not good.
I guess the factor we didn't really weigh was the fact that Uruguay was pretty much in, and it really didn't have to go hard at it. So, yeah, between that and the U.S. really putting no shots on goal, it was tough.
That's the part that gets me. I didn't care who won necessarily, other than if they both scored a goal. That's all I was betting on.
Dang, didn't care about our country winning?
No, you know what I mean. It was one of those, we understood that Uruguay was probably going to win, but, 1-0, it's gettable. Boy, that is horrendous.
Yeah, I hear you. So what's your official bet for today?
I'm still reeling off last night. I'm not sure.
You haven't recovered yet.
I looked at a couple baseball games tonight.
Yeah.
And we got Carrasco going at it against the White Sox.
That's
and we
where
just
I'm
talked about them. Why don't I just take, although he's not a huge K guy.
No, he's not. And you know what's weird about this is that you got the Guardians coming back from getting kind of cooked by the Kansas City Royals with cheese. And now you got the White Sox, who have been horrible, but they're 4-3 against the Guardians this year.
They are.
So this may just be one of those weird divisional teams that you know that they're not better than you, but somehow, some way, they're always scrappy. I'm just going to rely on.
It's in Cleveland, though.
It is in the land. I'm going to rely on a couple guys that have just been so elite. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at, you know what, David Fry. I think he qualifies pretty elite this year.
Constance Fry?
Give me his total bases is 1.5. Give me the over for that at -105. David Fry. Been a good offensive piece for them. Yeah, this is one of those series, right, where the Guardians should do their thing. But just mentioned Sox 4-3 against them, and then you start to look in the rearview mirror just a little bit, and it's a 6 and 7 game lead against Kansas City and Minnesota. But you don't want to mess around come this weekend and only be 3 games ahead of them if they handle their business too. So David Fry, I'm going with the over with total bases at 1.5.
I'm trying to think if I should just continue to bet James Wood to hit a home run until it happens. And I think we'll start that tonight.
Oh, man.
All right. He's 7-1 to hit a home run.
Okay.
All right. He got his first hit in his debut last night. He went 1 for 4 with a walk. They lost to the Mets. He plays for the Nats, and I picked him up in fantasy earlier in the weekend. He's 21 years old, and he got his first major league hit. It was a single to left, and kind of worked a 5-pitch walk in the 10th. And he just was ripping the cover off it in AAA. And so if he's playing every day in left field now, and he has all the tools to be a fantasy star, I'll start it today, and we'll kind of keep track. All right?
July 2nd.
Well, until he hits one.
July 2nd.
How much money can he lose?
There we go.
But he's 7-1 to hit a home run tonight.
All right. We'll keep an eye on it. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only. Must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
The 49ers want to keep Brandon Aiyuk. That's probably not debatable. This market has gone beyond what they even thought. And so as this kind of drags on a little bit, it's interesting because we've always brought up maybe the Steelers' interest in trading for him, but they don't really even know their future quarterback. Can you imagine if they give a receiver $30 million?
They don't know? I think
they know and they don't know. They know who they have. They just don't know if it's a guarantee that the guy's going to be leading them for the next 7 to 10 years. That's what I mean.
I think he's answered that question the last 2 years.
Fields?
I thought you were talking about
I'm talking about
Purdy
Steelers.
And the 49ers.
No,
okay,
no,
my
I
bad.
meant
Now.
giving the Steelers, giving Aiyuk $30 million.
I got you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to confuse you there. I brought the Steelers in because they've been the team all along that we thought could make a trade for Brandon Aiyuk. Since the news broke that there's, the contract dispute and where this stands. So, because he reportedly asked for what? About $30 million a year? While the Niners offered $26. So, CB, you have sound from Aiyuk?
Yeah, he was on the Pivot podcast. I think it came out like over the weekend or maybe early this week. Pretty much talking about San Francisco's offers and maybe if they've been close, if they've been far away.
The talks are, though, that they do want you. Are they far off from what you expect what you consider your value to be?
Throughout this process, there was times where we were super close, or I felt like I was telling people, like, tell my agent, let me get my suit ready. I'm ready. I'm going to get it back to the Bay. I got to get right to sign this contract. There's days and times, like in the past month or so, where you could say, yeah, we're pretty far apart. So,
how much influence from the other guys, how much influence do their signings have on your market?
I think a lot. But with that, I felt like when the season was over, I was trying to, I was back and forth with them every day. Like, my agent called me an hour. We're on the phone for an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, 2 hours, hang up the phone. He calls them. He calls me back in an hour. We're trying to bang this thing out. And I wasn't worried about any other guy. I was just trying to get what I felt was appropriate for me at that time. That was the rush. That was the early on in the offseason. We couldn't come to an agreement at that time. And then on top of that, other guys decided to come. Right. Or not decided to come. They got paid. Their teams rewarded them. The market changed what the market is. So we weren't able to get a deal done at that time where other guys wouldn't affect the market and I could just do what I wanted to do. But even at that time, they still didn't agree with where I was at. So we really haven't agreed this whole entire time. And for the last month, we haven't said much at all. So.
By the way, great questions. Fantastic questions.
That's Fred Taylor, former running back in the league.
And that's what helps. When you're a player, you know how to massage the question. Yeah. I thought the first question was incredibly good about how far apart they are. Because if it's what we're reading, it's 26-30. He clearly wants 30. He's got a short straw right now. We just have to be realistic. He's got a contract this year that'll pay him $14 million. Under this current CBA, holding out of training camp, as you've always said, is not a greatest viable option for him. If they want to play hardball, they could make him play for the $14 million, and then you know what's coming after that potentially.
The Rothman special.
The tag for wide receivers. I mean, look at what T got this year. It's worth $22 million. And it's projected to rise to 25, boys, next year. So it's not the worst thing ever. That would pay him $39 million over the next 2 years. Now, I'm not guaranteeing him that because he hasn't been tagged yet. So I can't give him 14 plus 25, which I just did the quick math on. That gets him 40. What he wants is 60 with probably $50 million of a guaranteed. And so that's, to me, that's where the chasm is. It's not just 26 to 30. I don't think that's it. I think it's the bigger picture of the guarantee over a couple seasons. Where would I be?
This reminds me a lot of the A.J. Brown Tennessee Titans thing, where I'm just sitting back and like, what's the issue here? He's an elite player who absolutely balled the heck out last year. Brandon Aiyuk only caught 75 passes last year, and he turned that into 1,300 yards. Like, that's crazy right there, how impactful he was every time he grabbed the ball. And so I think what's really lurking in the weeds here is John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan knowing that we got to pay Brock Purdy too. I think they're going to take care of Aiyuk. I think it's going to get figured out. I think the odd man out eventually will be Deebo Samuel. Maybe Ricky Pearsall, the rookie, will be his replacement after this year. But I think they'd be sadly mistaken if they think that they can just move on from Brandon Aiyuk and find that production elsewhere because of how good I think he is. And within this offense, he probably doesn't get the amount of work that he should get. But like I said, you turn 75 catches into 1,300 yards, you're absolutely dominating. I think he's that good of a wide receiver. They need to lock him up ASAP.
All right, that'll do it for our pre-snap reads for today. All right, we are bringing on our guy, Max Chadwick, and we'll talk college ball with him and the talent that is right up the road. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan.
Welcome to Reverse Aesthetics. Our medical weight loss program includes popular medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, both of which are supercharged by our body sculpting treatments. For only $2.99 per month, under the supervision of our board-certified medical doctor, Reverse Aesthetics can help you achieve your weight loss goals while tracking progress quarterly. We have plenty of inventory and can begin treatment within 48 hours of your consult. Schedule now at reverse-aesthetics.com or call us at 614-656-4000.
Attention aspiring media stars. Are you ready to take your talent to the next level? Register for your chance to win the Be On Air Summer Slam contest. This is your chance to showcase your skills in a thrilling 30-second live script challenge. Visit now at studiocontest.com to secure your spot and compete for amazing prizes, including a 4-hour studio session, Shure MV7 microphone, and Audio-Technica M20X headphones. Don't miss out on this dynamic event. Be On Air Summer Slam contest, where talent meets opportunity. Visit studiocontest.com and sign up today.
Bobby Carpenter here for Affinity Whole Health, the leader in the testosterone and hormone replacement therapy game. And weight loss too, that's right. Affinity offers semaglutide injections for weight loss in addition to their testosterone treatments so you can lose weight and build muscle. They customize a plan directly for you. They added peptides to my TRT. They've added semaglutide with my friend's testosterone, and the results are amazing. They're pumped about summertime and pool season, so check them out at feelgreatcolumbus.com. That's feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Swimming is a great way to exercise and spend time with family and friends. Always swim with a buddy, keep an eye on children, and be prepared in an emergency if there is no lifeguard on duty. The next time you go to the pool, be water smart and know where the safety equipment is located. Complete the Ohio Department of Health Safety Equipment Scavenger Hunt and learn more about pool safety at odh.ohio.gov/swim. Have a safe swim.
Want to see some football players try to play softball? Join us for Schmidt's Cardale Jones Charity Softball Game.
Why picnic when you can schmidtnick? And presented by Monogram Homes and the U.S. Air Force. The Fan.
This is Pre-Tection. Yep, Pre-Tection. The everyday skin protection ritual that protects your skin from mosquitoes. Pre-barbecue. Pre-playground. Pre-everything. Pre-every day. Prevention is the best protection. This summer, make sure you have OFF, the #1 dermatologist recommended repellent brand. SC Johnson, a family company.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Incredible lease deals for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Now through July 6th, lease a 2024 Civic LX for $249 a month or a 24 Accord LX for $259 a month. Even a CRV front-wheel drive for $279 a month. 36-month lease, payments plus tax, title, document fees, and $29.99 due at signing. 10,000 miles a year, includes Honda loyalty with approved credit. From the Honda dealership in Central Ohio, Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Parkway, just south of 270.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
At Pella, we use the newest technology to show you exactly how new windows would look on your home.
Well, we keep it simple at our window place. We use a #2 pencil to draw what your house will look like with our new windows. See?
Oh yeah, that definitely looks like a #2.
Thank you, Leslie. Wait, I see what you did there.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
No one funks up the work microwave like these two. Again? You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Indeed you are. College football right around the corner. So much going on, especially right here in CBUS. Then you get the expanded playoff. Trying to figure out dates and games and when they'll be played and who will have a bye and all that. But there's plenty to happen before then. Let's discuss with our friend Max Chadwick, Pro Football Focus, and the host of their college football show. Max, welcome back.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you. Let me get your opinion on whether or not you feel Ohio State will have a rematch this year. And what I mean by that is whether somehow they would take on Michigan or Oregon or even Penn State. Will Ohio State play a rematch this year?
I think they will. I think, you mentioned all three of those teams. I think those are the next three teams after Ohio State in the Big Ten. And now the fact that we're not doing divisions anymore, so you're not getting a Big Ten East and West team. It's just the two best teams. I think there's a really, really high chance that Ohio State's in the Big Ten championship game. There's a really high chance that I almost say if Ohio State is, then there's an extremely high chance that their opponent is going to be a rematch. I personally think it'll be Oregon. I think Oregon and Ohio State are two of the top three teams in the country. I think Michigan and Penn State are more like top 10 teams and back half the top 10. So, I think there's a really high chance that we see a rematch of in the Big Ten title game.
Max, hit us with a head coach not named Ryan Day, who you believe is under a ton of pressure this year, and why?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that you can go with, especially in the SEC. I think a guy like Billy Napier comes to mind from Florida. He has a brutal schedule this year. In fact, one of the hardest in the country. I think Florida basically has to make a bowl game this year in order for him to keep his job. And it'd be really hard for Florida to make a bowl game with how difficult that schedule is. Even though I think they're actually a solid team, it's just that schedule is so brutal. I think Mario Cristobal at Miami, I think they have the most talented team in the ACC. And I think the patience in that fan base is wearing a little thin with him right now. So I think Cristobal at Miami is one to look out for. I think there's a ton of guys, honestly, that have some really hot seats entering the 2024 college football season.
So Ohio State's been handed the off-season championship trophy, and they're already even a little bit kind of like, okay, enough talk. There'll be so much hype around them this year, and rightfully so. What about Georgia? I mean, it's one of those teams that they're neck and neck with them. It's kind of 1-1A. You got to lean one way or the other, Georgia or Ohio State. Which way do you lean?
I would lean Ohio State right now. I think Ohio State is the best team in the country, but I think Georgia is a super close second. It's almost like a 1A, 1B, honestly. I think they're the two most complete teams in college football all the way around. I mean, Georgia obviously has the best quarterback in America and Carson Beck, and then the rest of that roster is still elite as well. But I think Ohio State has a little more star power than Georgia does on both sides of the ball right now. Guys like Quinshon Judkins, guys like Emeka Egbuka, guys like potentially Jeremiah Smith as a true freshman. And then on the other side of the ball, you got guys like Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimoloau, Caleb Downs. I mean, I just don't think Georgia has the superstars besides Carson Beck that it's had in recent years. So I think Ohio State is a little more star-studded than Georgia right now, so I'll give the slight edge to Ohio State.
Speaking of star-studded, I think you can apply that to a couple of the guys that play under Deion Sanders and his son and Travis Hunter. Max, just assessing what they've done this offseason, is there a massive level up coming in their play as a team, or do you think last year will look kind of like what we get this year?
I think there will be a certain level of improvement that you could expect from them. I think it is kind of their expectations at least to make a bowl game this year. So I think 6-6 is kind of the expectation for Colorado and should be the expectation for Colorado this year. I think anything more than 6-6 is a huge success, and anything less than it will be a disappointment, honestly. So, look, I know people were disappointed by Deion last year going 4-8. People got to remember in 2022, Colorado was 1-11. They were the worst Power 5 team out there. They were really down in the dumps. So going from 1-11 to 4-8, it might not sound like a lot, but it is a significant improvement. So if they can go from 1-11 to 4-8 to 6-6, that's a pretty good upward trajectory that Deion's got the Colorado program going in right now. But I do think making a bowl game this year is the minimum expectation for Colorado.
Max Chadwick with us, Pro Football Focus, talking college football. All right, so I have no idea how to handicap Michigan this year. I really don't. I know they've saved some star players here. They've got decent players. They've got kind of a multi-fight at quarterback here. They got the new coach, but he showed something in the interim way. But they've got Texas coming in. They'll take on Oregon. They got to come to Columbus. They'll go to Washington. How do I handicap Michigan? What kind of a year is this going to be?
I think Michigan, I think like a 9-3 type season probably could be the expectation for the Wolverines this year. I still think their defense is national championship caliber. I still think it's at least a top 2 or 3 defense in the country, if not number 1. They have superstars at every level of that defense. You know, guys like Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant at D tackle, Jayshon Barham at linebacker, Will Johnson at corner. They are loaded defensively, and just based off that alone, they're still a championship contender. But the question is, like you mentioned, offensively, they have so many question marks. You know, replacing a first-round quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, replacing one of your greatest running backs of all time, Blake Corum, replacing your top 6 offensive linemen, and replacing your top 2 wide receivers as well. Still have Colston Loveland, who's the best tight end in the country. Still have a really good running back in Donovan Edwards, but there's so many question marks offensively. So I think Michigan is like a top 10 team in the country. I don't think they're a national title contender anymore, just because they have so many question marks offensively.
Going back to, a little bit of your ACC comments you made, and you're high on Miami, you're not the only one. It seems like they can definitely be a good team. But when I asked you about the coaches, I thought maybe you'd throw Dabo in there. When you look at where he is with his program and what they have coming into this season, what type of year do you think Clemson's in store for?
Yeah, I don't think Dabo, even if they go 7-5, 8-4, I don't think Dabo's going to get fired this offseason. I think that'll still take a few more disappointing years, just based off him, really building that program up from nothing and winning 2 national titles. He's bought a lot of he's got a long leash, let's put it that way, at Clemson. But I do think they're going in the wrong direction right now, right? I don't think they're not only do I not think they're not utilizing the transfer portal at all, which is a big miss in today's day and age of college football, in my opinion. They just seem to be going in the wrong way right now. So I think they're a top 15, top 20 team, and in the ACC, that's kind of wide open. They certainly are still a top contender to win it. But I think this is more of a top 20 team that we see in college football more than, the top 5 every single year team that they used to be. I don't think Clemson's getting back to that anytime soon, as long as they're, going the way they're going and not utilizing the transfer portal and stuff like that.
Now that Notre Dame should be in the top 12 most years, do you give them a better chance now to take a bite out of some of these big boys and pull an upset, or is it kind of more of the same? They'll get close and they'll always come short, because now it's not only the brand getting them in, now they should be in the top 12 talent-wise.
Yeah, I think they could compete with some top teams. They took Ohio State down to the wire last year, obviously. I think they're going to have one of the best defenses, probably a top 5 defense in college football as well. So that should be really, really good on that side of the ball. Some questions offensively. They have a lot of new pieces on offense. New quarterback in Riley Leonard, some new weapons, a really brand new offensive line as well. I think Notre Dame, like I said, is around a top 10 to 12 team in the country, and I think they should be competing for a playoff spot. And if they don't make the college football playoff, Marcus Freeman could be entering 2025 on the hot seat. Honestly, it's been a little bit disappointing first couple years there.
All right, Max, well done, man. Always appreciate the conversation. We'll have you back again soon. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
Max Chadwick, Pro Football Focus, host the college football show on PFF. He was on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline.
Hey, let's give away a goodie right now, or goodies, as I should say, because winner's going to receive a family 4-pack of tickets to the Good Guys 26 Summit Racing Nationals, July 12th at the Ohio Expo Center. Experience Good Guys CPP Autocross Racing Series all weekend long. Passes are good for one of the days. 614-821-9710 is our number here. AR, I think you've got the question for our wonderful listeners today.
I can't remember what we were talking about. Oh, I know what we were talking about. We were talking about some football and Peyton Manning.
The Manning passing academy and Archie being there working.
Yeah. So what was one of my favorite jobs when I was late high school into college? 821-9710. If you get that, CB will give you those passes. We'll come back with Tell the Truth. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone are idiots. You should listen to them anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio's idiot destination.
O'Reilly. When your wiper blades do more smearing than clearing during a storm, it's time to replace them. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get a pair of Bosch Pure Vision wiper blades on sale now. Buy one, get one free. Offer is valid in-store only. Our professional parts people will even install them for free. Get a better view of the road at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Auto Parts.
Now at UDF, buy 3 everyday favorites with UDrive Plus to quickly stack an extra 20 cents in gas savings. That includes Monster Energy and Red Bull and Gatorade and Body Armor. And that adds up. UDF, made for you. Specially marked products with an opted-in UDrive account.
Chops here with a message from Paige and her entire Awaken 180 team. They want to wish all the fan listeners a happy and a healthy Independence Day week. Having a party? Find your free recipes at Awaken 180 on all social media channels.
Hi, it's me, Little Bob from Bob's Discount Furniture. I know, you don't know me yet, but I'm here to let you know that I'm opening up a brand new store in your area, located at Taylor Square in Reynoldsburg, bringing even more of my everyday low prices to the people of Ohio. And if you can't wait, mybobs.com is the quickest and easiest way to get unbeatable furniture prices delivered straight to your home today. That's my brand new Bob's Discount Furniture, coming to Reynoldsburg this summer.
Get Bob's Discount.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Morning Juice.
We're selling cans of Natty Light for $2. Top that.
My wife's grandpa had a great line when he was drinking Natty Lights with us in college. He said, boy, it just tastes like a handful of nickels.
Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Affinity Whole Health.
Weekday mornings at 6. The Fan.
Find savings to celebrate this 4th of July with one stop at Meijer. Pick up fresh from Meijer 80% lean ground beef family pack for just $2.99 per pound. And family pack chicken drumsticks for 99 cents per pound. Bulk sweet corn is 5 for $1 this week. Meijer potato chips are 3 for $6. And Aunt Millie's Stadium buns are $1.99. Plus, get even more great deals with buy 5, save $5. Get everything you need for July 4th this week at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in store or in the Meijer app.
It's the symphonic rock experience everyone's talking about. The Columbus Symphony Orchestra performs Windborne's The Music of Led Zeppelin, featuring conductor Brent Havens, a full rock band, and vocalist Randy Jackson. The hits of Led Zeppelin performed as you've never heard them before. Saturday, July 6th, the Columbus Commons. Get tickets now at picnicwiththepops.com. Full details at windbornemusic.com. Presented by Nationwide Picnic with the Pops.
If you're listening to this and you're not already keeping it easy in your backyard with Bud Light, well, consider this message a gentle reminder. Your backyard is waiting, and so is that Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver, leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft beer.
All right, CB, who knew that I wanted to go back to Kelly's Day Camp and be a counselor?
I don't know if they knew exactly that place, but they did know camp counselor, and it was Caleb that knew the answer.
Well done, Caleb. You get the passes, my man. Good job.
That is right. All right, let's do a Would You Rather to start this off. Edge rusher edition. So you're starting up your own franchise in the NFL, and you have to choose between Micah Parsons or Max Crosby. Who do you choose?
Ooh. Listen, I love Mad Max, man. He is the total package right now. He's really good. Rush the passer, against the run. I thought he put up some incredible numbers on a defense where he's probably getting double and tripled more than anybody. And he came from obviously nowhere. What was he, Matty? Third, fourth rounder?
Eastern Michigan guy,
Fourth rounder, though? Somewhere in that area?
I don't know the round.
I'd have to go back.
Pretty sure he was getting his Maction on. Let me check that.
I would probably, he's right there. I'm going to err on Parsons. But there aren't too many guys I'd be taking over Max Crosby.
Yeah, he's my
Might
pick
be
for
Garrett and Parsons and him, but he's right there. He's so elite. Incredible.
CB, this question is like asking me, do I want to go on a date with Halle Berry or Sofia Vergara? I can't go wrong.
But you got to choose one.
I can't go wrong. I am going to go with Max Crosby on this. He's my pick for Defensive Player of the Year this season. I love the addition of Christian Wilkins, who they got from Miami, who can help him with what you mentioned, because you're right, AR. The attention that he was getting from offensive lines was crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, now you get a defensive lineman to come in there in the middle, and Christian Wilkins, who's a heck of a player, to soak some of that up. So both these guys are special, but I'll go with Mad Max, because also, CB, I get the tattoos with it. So give me the tats. I like a little bit of that when you talk about a D lineman. So, yeah, I'm going Max Crosby.
Just find out right now today is true.
I enjoy a very good troll. When someone knows how to troll maybe a fan base or a group of friends or family, I really enjoy that. I think there is one in the electronic arts department working on the college football game, because it's been well publicized by a lot of Ohio State fans. There is a Michigan grad on the head of development for this game coming out. So there's been a lot of maybe scenes in the previews making fun of Ohio State, maybe losing to Illinois, losing the Illinois to Penn State. And just recently, they were debuting the Dynasty mode today, and they had the 12-team bracket. They showed you how it was going to work. They had Ohio State in the championship game losing to Oregon by the score of 42-20. If you don't understand the reference, Ohio State won that 2014 title 42-20. My question to you is, tell the truth. Do you think there's someone actually actively trolling Ohio State fans with EA?
Yes, it's Connor Stallions. He's back at it again. That's who's doing this. It's him.
So it's the identical score.
It's the identical score of the game
when
10
Ohio
years
State
ago.
beat them. I don't think it's a troll. I think it's a unique connection, and as long as you got to say something, if you're going to pick Oregon, you might as well pick the same score that they were beaten by. So it may be just kind of a creative, not coincidence, because it was probably done purposely, but I don't think it was done to be a troll. I'm not getting. I am a little bit surprised that they feel. What I would like to know is who won the first game. Does that mean Oregon swept them, or does that mean they got revenge against them?
That's a question to an answer, or that's an answer to a question you will never find out.
Yeah. That's the one that's the tough question I would think I'd want answered. I think it's creatively fun. I don't think it was done to absolute troll them.
Just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
This might end up being a good summer topic that we can get into deeper later in the month, but I think it's great to kind of do a little bit of a brain teaser right now, thinking maybe a decade down the line. Yesterday was the first day of a lot of conference realignment for a bunch of those teams, like the West Coast teams heading to the ACC and the Big Ten. My question to you is, looking 10 years down the line, of the teams that just reconfigured their conference, who do you think is going to be in a better or the best position of that group?
A team? A program?
The program, yes.
See, I don't even know if I know what I'm doing tomorrow, let alone 10 years from now, big dog. But I'm going to hit you with this one.
Right in that chair.
Yeah. Guess I better be here tomorrow at high noon. I'm going to go with Texas. I like the momentum that Sark has right now, especially at the most important position. He just got Rajabel's son. I think his name's Diabell. Forgive me for that, but I know he's a
diabolical.
No, they're going to hope he's not that, but he's a 5-star quarterback in the 2026 class, so he's got some good momentum going there. He's coming off an offseason where he had a whole bunch of draft picks on the offensive side of the ball. Quinn Ewers has a chance to be another high-end draft pick next year, so I'm going to go with Steve Sarkisian and what he's doing down there in Austin.
It's a tough call. I'm not going to fault you for picking them. It just, it used to be where no one was going to get anybody that they didn't want, or you know what I mean, or that they wanted. And so now everyone's going into Texas and grabbing what they want, and they're going to the SEC. And I do think that if you want to pick between them and Oklahoma, I think that's probably the right call. It's probably lean that way. The other team that I really like to see what USC can do here Like, once they kind of get things back going again, it feels like they will with the Big Ten backing and the money and all that. You do wonder about all that travel and everything, how it affects things. But to me, it probably is between Texas and USC. So just to be fun, I'll take the Trojans.
And that, my boy, is a damn truth.
All right, final question. I won't make you ask directly the fan poll, which is, should Greg Berhalter remain the coach of the U.S. men's national team? That's not the fun part. I will, though, change it to, you could pick any coach in American sports to put them in the position of the head coach of the national team. Doesn't have to be related. Doesn't really matter if they coach the same sport. Just for the fun of it, who would you like to see?
I want a hologram of Bob Knight. God rest his soul. Hologram of Bob Knight just yelling at everybody on the pitch. That's what I want.
Yeah, and I don't... The chairs that they sit on there, are those bolted down, CB, or can Bob throw?
It's more of a bench. So a full bench, not like individual chairs.
Well, that would really be a level up for hologram Bob. Instead of the chair, we're tossing an entire bench. Everybody together, heave ho. It's funny you went there because I was going more villains and and just really, really get after him and everything. So I'll ride with you on the general. I think that's a good one.
If you missed anything from our show today, you can always catch up because wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice, our names and our beautiful faces will pop up there. And don't forget, subscribe to the old podcast as well. And AR, hit them with what we call a tease for tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be a big day on the show tomorrow. The CBJ top draft pick, Kaden Lindstrom, will skate on in at 1 o'clock. So he hit the ice for his first day of development camp, and then he'll jump in and join us tomorrow afternoon at 1, so listen in then. The boys in the afternoon, Conman and T-Bone, will have Jason Stark on at 5 o'clock, so keep it locked here. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. This is a Fan Action Update.
After an off day yesterday, the Guardians are in action tonight. The Guardians take on the White Sox and are minus 200 favorites on the money line. The Guardians are now minus 230 to win the AL Central, with the Twins plus 280. Cleveland has the third best odds to win the AL at 7-1, and Cleveland's now 17-1 to win the World Series. That is the sixth best odds. For your Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Ready for all those summer get-togethers? Fill up your grocery basket at Giant Eagle. Their Deals for Days program features more than 1,000 deals on your favorite items. Barbecue parties or graduations are easier to plan when you buy at Giant Eagle. Learn more at gianteagle.com.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out. Summer grilling just got better with new Pepsi Lime and Pepsi Peach. Available for a limited time.
It's a Red, White, and Cool sale at Logan Services. Red hot savings up to $2,700 off a train system. And take advantage of 0% APR financing for 72 months. And pick one freebie for extra home comfort this summer. Plus, check out tax credits up to $2,600. With a system for every home and every budget, it's hard to stop a train. Find us online and book your free estimate now. Fast, friendly service, Logan Services.
Hey, what's up, Buckeye Nation? It's Cardale Jones. Join me Saturday, July 20th at Huntington Park for the Smiths Cardale Jones charity softball game presented by Monogram Homes and the U.S. Air Force. Come check out former Buckeye greats take on this year's current Buckeye stars such as Emeka Ibuka, Jaden Ballard, and many more. Come see and meet the Buckeyes before they hit the field this fall. Gates open at 5 p.m. Contests and prizes all night long. Home run derby at 6:30 and the game to follow. Tickets available at BuckeyeCruise.com. Why pick Nick when you can smick Nick? Get your $10 tickets now at BuckeyeCruise.com.
This is Ice-T, repping Raising Cane's Iced Tea, the official iced tea of iced tea. Brewed throughout the day and perfectly poured over Cane's signature crushed ice makes Cane's Iced Tea the only iced tea as fresh as me. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Attention aspiring media stars. Are you ready to take your talent to the next level? Register for your chance to win the Be On Air Summer Slam contest. This is your chance to showcase your skills in a thrilling 30-second live script challenge. Visit now at studiocontest.com to secure your spot and compete for amazing prizes, including a 4-hour studio session, Shure MV7 microphone, and Audio-Technica M20X headphones. Don't miss out on this dynamic event. Be On Air Summer Slam contest, where talent meets opportunity. Visit studiocontest.com and sign up today.
Spectrum delivers with fast and reliable internet. And with Spectrum One, you get even more. Spectrum Internet, so you can work, game, and stream with speeds up to a gig. Plus advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security and one Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line, both free for 12 months. Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and mobile. Get it all together with Spectrum One. Starting at just $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for